Ah, sorry. So, greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. Nothing on my channel ever is. There will likely be strong language and adult themes involved. Okay, sorry if you got the echo there. So, ah, so I see Nana, bit of tea in Danish, had Robert X, Amiga Nuts, Critical Cripple, Martin Nielsen. Well, thanks you all for coming. Um, don't have anyone else here in the chat with me right now. So if anybody wants to join in, welcome to. There's plenty of room. I hope I didn't do something stupid like send the wrong link out on Twitter. Oh, dude. Yeah, I'm not too good on doing this solo. But looks like that should have been the right link. I just haven't had anybody responding yet. Okay, well, pretty much the whole purpose of this is me begging. I I've got a lease signed for an apartment in Minnesota that I can finally get back there. Um, for any of you who don't know the background, I wound up here because 5 years ago my family died, my fiance died, and I was no longer able to afford the house where we had been living in New York. So I'm stuck in the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, just because this is where I had some family and I really didn't have any other option at the time. I didn't want to come here. I knew living in a small town was going to drive me nuts, and I was right. And you know, in the 35 years of my adult life, I've lived in 4 states, and Minnesota is the only place that I've really felt like home instead of just being someplace I was sitting around waiting for something else to happen. So I still have a lot of friends in Minnesota that I have kept in touch with over the years. Um, I'm going to wind up living in St. Cloud, which is an hour and a half out of the Minneapolis St. Paul area. So it's a bit of a drive there to my, most where most of my friends are, but it's close enough I'm going to be able to see people. Hi, Hans. And there are a number of social groups that I helped start there that are still going, even though I've been away for more than 10 years. Among other things, the longest running gaming group in the history of the state of Minnesota was started in my sister's basement in 1982. And 4 of the founding members are still part of that group, and they are still meeting weekly at one of the gaming stores there. So if I can get back there, it's like, I immediately have friends there. I have a social network I can plug into right away. And that's really what I'm lacking here is where I'm living now. Everything, I can't have a conversation with anyone because hunting and fishing and, football is the only thing anyone ever talks about, and I'm just not interested in any of that. So literally, I just can't have a conversation with any of my neighbors, and on top of that, I can't really be myself here. I have to be very quiet about things. It's a town of 3,000 people. There are 25 active churches. So people are okay that you can kind of be whatever brand of Christian you want to be, but I don't think any of them could deal with me being out as being an atheist. The idea of not belonging to any church would be so alien it would probably incite a panic. Not to mention anything to do with being anything but cis hetero would not make it around here. There are two openly gay men in the whole town. One of them has been beaten up 3 times leaving the bar. And there's just absolutely nothing here for any kind of social thing or entertainment value at all. Um, the movie theater closed 15 years ago. The bowling alley burned down. It's an hour drive to Walmart. It's literally an hour drive to anything around here. Yeah, actually, the picture with the Vice Rhino shirt, that was getting ready to head out on the road trip that I went down to Kentucky for the Ark Encounter protest last year. That I picked up Lavender Lady and we drove down to Kentucky. So it was quite a long trip, but it was fun. I got to meet some interesting people there. So there are a handful of people in the atheist community who know what I look like. Although apart from Lavender Lady, I don't think any of them follow my channel. So So my whole plan when I had first moved here was that it was just going to be a chance to reorganize things and figure out my life. I didn't realize what a trap this town was, that while I have the skills to do all sorts of home repairs, I mean, quite literally, if you give me the pile of materials and a couple of strong backs to help, I could build a house from scratch. I could repair anything in your house. About the only thing I don't deal with is the heating and air conditioning system, and that more has to do with you need a lot of specialized tools that I don't have. So I managed to support myself reasonably well as a freelance handyman, doing all sorts of home repairs. Unfortunately, that's not viable here because while all the houses are falling apart, nobody here has the money to hire me, even though I've cut my rates to be 1/3 what they had been before I moved here. There are just no jobs to be had. Everyone here is broke, so I've managed to make enough to scrape by, but it's been hard to get ahead at all. Um, over 4 years, I had managed to save $5,000, mostly by doing landscaping in the summer, because we were doing landscaping at lake homes for the people who live out of state and can afford to have a second home up here that they only use a couple of weeks out of the year. Sure as hell would like to have enough to afford a first house. But unfortunately, the guy that owned the landscaping company I was working for declared bankruptcy, both for the business and personally, and stiffed me for about $6,000, about 6 months of back pay. So the money I had saved up, I had to use for paying rent and basic living expenses, and I don't have anything left in the bank. And my chances of ever seeing the money he owed me are slim to none. So I'm, I need help here. I figure it's probably going to cost around $2,000 for all of the moving expenses of, moving van, fuel, insurance, deposits on the new apartment, getting all the utilities hooked up. When when you move, there always wind up being 100 little expenses you didn't count on. Um, so I need help, people. Um, we are organizing for there to be a bunch of prizes and thank you gifts for anyone who helps. One of the things is in the thumbnail you saw before this started is a hand knit Doctor Who scarf. My sister-in-law made that, and it was made by instructions I obtained from someone who actually worked for the BBC costume department. So the instructions are what the person who made the original one used. He got it right out of the file cabinet there. Um, my understanding is that there is something about that American skeins of yarn and the American needles were slightly bigger than the ones the British commonly used. So the scarf actually came out a bit wider, a bit larger than the original. But that's one of the items that's going to be available. Oh, hi, Angie. Angie, you want to come in here with me so I got someone to talk to? But basically, what I figured we're going to do is just whoever offers the highest donation will get first pick of the items. Whoever's next highest will get the next pick, and so on. And we have at least several dozen items. Um, a lot of very nice handmade items that Sloth Girl has made. For any of you who don't know, Sloth Girl made the real Cirrus, the plushie version of Cirrus. And one of the things she's willing to do, if somebody donates at least $150, because it's a hell of a lot of work, that she will make a doll like that, and customize it for the person, that you can choose the skin color, the hair color. Hi, Angie.
Hi, Purple. How you doing?
Yep. Okay. So I was just saying that one of the items that Sloth Girl is willing to make a doll customized, that you can choose the skin color, the hair color, and from a range of outfits she has patterns for.
Oh, she does
You
good
know,
work too.
um, all of the handmade items she did have all won. Nothing has won less than a first prize at the county fair. Um, in the picture, the thumbnail for tomorrow night, it shows a couple of the dolls she did. One of those won the Judge's Choice ribbon.
Cool. That's awesome.
Which is
So,
basically like the best in show of all of the needlework items. And when you
that's pretty
consider this
awesome.
is just yeah, when you consider what we're living in is basically a town full of grandmas, that's some stiff competition for the
Yeah, no
knitting and
kidding.
crochet stuff.
I'm a grandma. I can't crochet
Yeah.
or knit or
So
sew.
yeah, I my skills are all in the home repair stuff, so there's not much I can send that way over the internet. However, I've also been a toy collector for quite a long time, so I'm putting in a few prized items from my collection. Some Legos, some Transformers,
That's
a few
cool.
other rather collectible items. Um, I also have some interesting DVD items that people might be interested in. I have sealed a complete box set of the entire Adventure Time series. Um, I have a DVD set of like 30 of the original Godzilla movies. You
Oh
know,
wow.
the classic guys in the rubber suit things.
Yeah. I bet there's lots of folks out
You
there that
know,
like to get their hands on that.
yeah, so we're going to have a lot of fun prizes, and I've just, still getting that organized so I can give a description of all of those.
Oh, there's no bears. I'll be okay, Robert. Wild pigs, armadillos, possums.
You, you, what's the point in having woods if you don't have bears?
My husband swears up and down that he and his dad saw a bear on the banks of Kickapoo Creek, which is down the road from here, many years ago. So there may actually be bears, but I've never seen one, and it's not something they warn us about.
Ah, well, where I'm living is right on the border of the Ottawa National Forest, and yeah, we definitely have black bears around here.
Yeah.
We've you know we've had them come right into town to go through the garbage cans.
Oh man. I think that'd be cool to see, but I'd be scared. So.
Oh yeah, I have seen them a couple of times, and yeah, you don't want to be too close up. And um, one instance when I was a kid that we were having a picnic, and it was just yeah, don't worry about grabbing anything, just move
Run.
slowly. Everybody get into the car and lock the doors. So yeah, we watched the bear empty out our picnic.
Oh wow. Yeah, I wouldn't. I would not think about any bear unless they gave me instructions before I walked out in the woods. I would not know what to do if I saw a bear. I'd be scream, run, ah!
And that would be a horrible thing to do. It
Probably, and I'd be
basically,
lynched.
yeah, it is, just back away slowly, but make sure they know that they know you can see them.
Yeah,
If you turn your back on them, then they think they've got an opportunity to jump you.
uh, like tigers.
Yep.
That's funny. I've got a better chance of running into a bear, but I know what to do if I meet a tiger.
Yeah, I don't think there's much chance of mean tigers around here.
We've got an echo, according to the chat. I hear it a little bit, like it's coming through your speakers or something,
Oh,
because I got my headphones on.
yeah. I turn my speakers down, see if that does any better.
Okay, a little bit. That helps.
Okay, well, if it's a problem, I can put it through the headphones, but I prefer having it through the speakers if it
Yeah,
doesn't bother people.
it's not bothering me.
Okay, how about everybody in the side chat? Did that help?
It's weird that I can only hear myself echo. I can't hear your voice echo.
Yeah, I wasn't hearing it myself.
That's so strange. I wonder if I've got two mics on or something. Let me go check mine. Maybe it is me.
Yeah, actually, the deer
No?
can be kind of scary up here. They've, people don't think about it, but deer can be aggressive and they have very sharp hooves.
Yeah.
You know, I actually have a dent in the driver's fender of my car. I did not hit a deer, the deer hit me.
Ooh, angry deer.
Yeah, well, I saw a couple of them in the road, and it was like I wound up kind of maneuvering between two of them. That one ran in front of me, and I kind of twisted around that, and another one came behind me. And then a third one came and just ran and hit broadside,
Oh, jeez.
and like I said, left a good dent in the fender of the car, and the deer kind of spun around in the road. And I was worried because, I thought, well, if it broke its leg or something, what do I do? Who do I call?
Yeah.
I don't carry a gun or a knife around, and actually up here, um, if you hit a wild animal, you're supposed to call the DNR for them to, come and collect it and fill out an accident report.
Right.
But also up here, after 6 o'clock in the evening, there's no one to answer the phones if you call any government department.
Yeah, same thing here.
You
If you
know,
call the police here in my town, like if you call the city
yep.
police, you're going to get transferred to the county sheriff's office automatically after 5 o'clock.
Well, that's around here. There isn't anything, city or county. There is, no one to answer the phones.
Yeah,
So other than calling 911, there's no way to reach anybody.
pretty much. You can leave a message if you get ever
Yeah.
get any attention to that message. It's a miracle, but I'm sorry, I have a little bit of a cold. If I sound weird, I don't like to take the cold medicine during the day because it makes me sleepy.
Ah. Okay. Thank you, Amiga, for another PayPal contribution.
Oh,
We're
awesome.
off to a good start. I haven't even got the prizes listed yet, and we've already got almost 350 bucks.
Doing all right then. May take a little time, but we'll do what we can.
Yeah, well, and we've got a couple of weeks here. The move is for the end of February, so
Okay. All right.
we've got a bit of time for it.
If you can't give, share it out. Tell your friends. Everybody's got rich friends.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. Yeah, I know a lot of people aren't in great shape financially, but yeah, if you can just retweet it, if you can just get it out in front of more people, that'll help.
Yep, absolutely. My
Hello,
income comes
Greg.
in spurts, so I should have another peak in the next few days. So I can help you out a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I had in a previous stream mentioned that if somebody donated at least $100, I would post pictures of myself in full drag.
Oh, please, no. Why?
Well, and
Unless
it,
that's
it
something
was
you
it was
enjoy.
a
That's not
topic
what I
that
meant.
came up at the time. Unfortunately, that went and happened, and I don't think the person who sent the $100 had even been aware of it at the time. But yeah, I have some from about 6, 7 years ago that my fiance took. And,
Ah, okay. That's cool.
that's actually I don't think it look all that bad. I never learned how to do the makeup, so
Makeup is so subjective. I don't know. I see these girls with all the fancy makeup, and I never got into the super fancy stuff
yeah.
with the wings of the eyeliner and stuff. So
Yeah, unfortunately, basically with those, I'm either going to have to, like blur my face out or wait until I get to Minnesota to post them.
yeah, or send them privately.
Yeah, once I get to Minnesota, I will in my first broadcast unmask live on camera
I
because
can't
once
wait.
I'm out of this little town, it really won't matter that much.
Yeah,
I'm still not going to be on camera all the time just because I'm not
right,
very
right.
comfortable with it, and people don't. My body language isn't normal. People tend to misread me a lot,
Ah,
so
okay.
I won't be live all the time, but you know I will do it sometimes. Then,
Hi, Philip. Philip's here. Yay. What you doing, bud?
hey Philip, I don't know Philip that well really. I've seen him around a few times.
He is a friend of mine from here, where I live, and
Okay,
I've I've coerced him into being a part of our community.
Okay, then he should have a wrench.
I don't know. Sure, if you want to give him a wrench, he's harmless. He's one of the best, nicest people I
Well,
know.
if you're willing to speak for him, it's
Sure.
that's pretty much my standard. Is as long as there's somebody I know who's willing to put in a good word for him, I'll upgrade people.
Yeah, I know him in real life, so
Yep.
he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's one
And
of the few people on the
besides,
planet that I will defend with my life. So,
yep. Well, and Dave and IQ have been my, self-appointed main moderators and managed to keep things in line for me.
yeah,
Although so far I haven't done anything controversial enough to pick up many trolls yet. So
I haven't had a single troll on my YouTube. Not yet. Oh, I take that back. There was one when I very first started. Somebody, I had posted, I think it was the 7 things I wanted to tell believers video. And they went on some long scripted diatribe of bullshit that I just was like, well, I'll have a conversation with you. And they wouldn't respond to the actual conversation. They just kept going off on whatever it is they were saying. And I just deleted it. It's like, go
yeah,
away.
like you
I don't
say,
need
some of
this.
them just get on there with the script and
Yeah.
they don't want to hear anything anyone says.
No, I don't expect me to get a lot of trolls because I've already been certainly confirmed I am not controversial enough. I'm not opinionated enough. I don't do drama and all that stuff. So
Yeah, well, I haven't done any controversial subjects yet, but I do have a couple of scripts to start getting into some of the philosophy.
see, I can't do the philosophy thing. That's just way too much thinking and not enough doing.
Yeah, well, I don't really want to get into the hard philosophy, but I've got a couple things to demonstrate that there are some practical applications to it.
Yeah, if you apply the thinking to getting something done, then yeah. But if
Yeah,
all they're
well,
doing
and
is
that's the part
talking
of
about what
philosophy
they
that's
think,
kind of bugged me is it's like I see all these debates on philosophy, but I don't see anyone who, says how this applies to real life at all.
yeah, it's like what? Why does it matter? You
Yeah.
know, I don't know.
Yep.
I
So
know
I'm on
that
to a
there's a
couple of
lot of
things like that.
philosophy that has a lot of great thinkers have caused a lot of great doers to do some good science and stuff like that. So I do think philosophy is a necessary evil, in my
Yep.
opinion.
Robert X is volunteering to be your troll.
You could troll me any day, honey. I love you. I don't know that I really want a troll, but
Hey,
I'm too
Orla.
I'm too quick to block people that are jerks, so they don't come around and bother me. That's the whole point of the block button. So
Yeah, I just haven't had to yet. And I don't know. Maybe I should have on some occasions. I can let people go further.
yeah, I have certain things like I have literally blocked people I've never interacted with because I see how they treat other people. It's like,
Oh,
oh
hey,
no,
Randolph.
I know I don't want to be friends with you.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever actually blocked anyone like on Twitter. I've had a couple of people who blocked me, and it was like by the time they did it, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
I don't know if I've
Because
been blocked by
generally the people
anybody.
who have blocked me are people that if they had just gone away, I probably wouldn't have even noticed.
Yeah, I do it mostly just so I just don't see them in my feed. Like I don't care if anybody wants to be friends with them. That's your deal if you want to. But when they pop up, every 5 minutes with something hateful or confrontational,
Yeah. Well, I'm friends with people who are still friends with some people I'd rather not associate with, but
yeah,
that's whatever.
I understand that completely. Yep. But I don't care who your friends are, as long as you're my friend.
Okay, Hans says philosophy is basically the art of thinking slow. And Orla said, because ideas change people. If you believe in a bunch of bad ideas, then, well, you'll tend to be shit. Hey, Randolph.
Hello.
Hi, Randolph.
How
Hi,
are you doing
Angie.
today?
We haven't chatted in live stream for quite a while, I think.
I know.
No.
It has been a while.
Yeah, I heard you talking about blocking people. I actually don't block people. I just let them deflate themselves in a way, and I find that generally works. I prefer not to block people because I believe that people can change, and I find in some cases they do, and it can be frustrating for somebody, I think, if they're actually trying to make a legitimate effort to change how they interact with people. But I'm not trying to tell you that you shouldn't block people. That's up to you.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm a full blown blocker because I don't have time for that kind of shit. I just don't. If they want to change, let them change on their own dime and their own time because I don't have time for that. I'm not up to change anybody.
There was one guy that I did block for, I think it was about a week or so, and then I removed him from my blocking. It was somebody in Twitter who was just getting onto everything and just making stupid replies, and just it wasn't even medium quality trolling.
Yeah.
It was just complete waste of time. So that, I used it temporarily, and that I think is the only time I block. Otherwise, I don't block anybody. So
Yeah. I know folks who have like this aversion to blocking. Like it's a something that would make them look bad. It's like I don't think it makes me look bad when I block people.
oh, it's not an aversion for me. It's more of a philosophical point, because I actively advocate for freedom of expression, and I feel that if I'm blocking anybody, then I'm not fully endorsing what I'm advocating for. So
they can express themselves fine. I just don't have to see it. That's my thing. Like I'm not stopping them from expressing themselves. I'm just keeping their expressions away from me.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's a personal thing. I like my personal bubble. Yeah,
I have no problem. I have no problem with other people blocking. I've had people ask me what I have against. I've asked people ask me what I have against swearing. I've never sworn online. I don't use these words, and I don't have anything against it. People can swear all they want. I just haven't had a need for it. So
I catch myself because I think there's a time and place for swearing.
Yeah.
And I can swear with the best of them. I try not to too much on like somebody else's channel, because when I'm on someone's channel, it's like I've come to their house to visit.
Yeah.
So I'm going to respect their house. I'm going to respect their place, and you don't just come off with stuff like that. Now on my channel, there's no telling what's going to come out of my mouth.
I very rarely swear at people. I swear at objects a lot.
Yeah.
I swear at my computer a hell of a lot. I swear at my car.
I'm imagining you now.
Not people.
I'm imagining you right now on the Star Trek bridge, yelling at the ceiling, swearing.
Yeah.
They often yell at the ceiling to talk to the computer, right? So, in the Next Generation and whatnot.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations, Purple Rhymes with Orange. You're showing your true face now. It was great to see that. I wasn't sure if you would actually look just like like the dinosaur there, but Triceratops. But I can see that your artwork matches your real life picture just fine.
Well, Paul Gia did the original Avatar, so yeah, he got it right on.
Oh yeah. So, yeah, of course, there's going to be somebody out there who's not satisfied. They still think that's not the real you. But hey, this is the internet. We have to trust what we see, right?
That's right. But you don't know won't hurt you.
I have promised that when I get to Minnesota, my first live stream, I will unmask on camera.
Oh, that's a mask?
Yeah.
Or.
Okay.
I'm just trying to be supportive, man.
Yep.
So, I'm fine with that. I don't think. I think that if you do that, it should be something that's entirely your choice, not something that you feel under any obligation or pressure to do.
Right. No pressure.
Yeah, how people want to present themselves, I think, is up to them.
Well, I just got another 25 donation from Gregory Hartwick, and another
Nice.
$30 anonymous donation. So,
Well, great.
yep,
That's awesome.
yep, we're doing good. And I put it out on Twitter last night, and I am just amazed by the number of retweets that there have been just in like the last 6 hours.
Well, I hope I retweet it. If I didn't, I'll make sure I do. I like to support this kind of stuff. Do you have any family members who want you gone from the vicinity? You know, maybe they'll donate a large amount.
No, unfortunately, it's the opposite problem that my family members keep trying to convince me that I'll get to like it if I stay here long enough, and they're just not getting it, that it's not getting better for me.
Mm-mm.
And the only thing that is making this bearable is that my alcohol consumption is about 10 times what it was 5 years ago.
That's so
And
not
that's
good for
not
you.
a good long-term strategy.
No.
Yeah, you need to make that go in the other direction somehow.
Yeah.
Well, just with the prospect of it, just in the last month, since I've been thinking I was going to get out of here, that's already dropped in half.
Good.
Great. Yeah.
That's good.
But yeah, that's basically the only way I can deal with my neighbors here.
Do you mind telling what it is you're drinking? Because I was curious about your tastes more than anything.
Actually, I favor the Canadian blended whiskeys.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Usually it's a couple of shots of whiskey and a can of ginger ale.
Have you tried the one that Dan Aykroyd has been putting out in the market?
Sure. Let's introduce him to another alcoholic beverage when he's trying to cut down. Way to go, Randolph.
Hey, we've got to confront this stuff cup on or bottle on, right? As opposed
Oh
to
my God.
face on.
I don't
or-
watch TV much, so I don't know what is he promoting.
Oh, it's actually. I'm just going to look it up here. I think I can find it. It's called. Let me see here. Actually, it's quite an interesting theme he has going. It's a shape of a skull, but maybe it's under a different section here. I'll just.
Deconverted Man is saying there was a study that says swearing helps you feel less stressed and might increase your lifespan.
Well, he hasn't seen the Trailer Park Boys, has he? Not sure if you're familiar with that show.
I don't think I've seen that. I don't think I would even watch anything called Trailer Park Boys because I've lived in a trailer park before. I just don't think I like that very much.
It is a hilarious show. First time my wife and I saw it on TV. We don't watch much TV, but first time we saw it on TV, it was we thought it was a documentary. And then it didn't take long to realize it wasn't. But at first, hey, this is like, okay, this is pretty good. It does look kind of real. So.
Yeah, Orla says sometimes I don't even know I have, particularly if I'm upset about something and it's not registering as an upset. And I get that too.
Yeah,
I
swear
always
more
thought
when I'm
that was
mad.
part of the autism, actually, but I don't know.
Well, I had to go for so long. Like I couldn't swear much during the day at work because you don't do that in front of the church ladies, and it was respect for people don't want to hear that. And I know how they do the pearl clutching thing around here, but when you get home, it's no big deal. But it's one of the things I can control. I can control the swearing if I think about it.
Yeah,
I know people
can
who can't.
control it to a point, but there does a point that it bubbles over and I completely lose it, and then it goes for long, loud streams.
Yeah, if I'm mad, forget it. There's no controlling it. But or drunk. If I drink a little more than 2, then I'm. Y'all gonna ask Philip. They're just like everything is the F bomb. I sound like I'm from the Jersey Shore or something.
Jersey Shore. Is there a lot of swearing in that one?
I don't know, but all of the people that I have met, and I'm not dissing in any of them at all, because they're all people that I like very much, that are from Jersey, like to swear, and it's part of their vocabulary, just regular talking.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
no
what you're
hate
saying
mail from
about
Jersey.
Trailer Park, yeah, what you were saying about Trailer Park Boys, I think that if I turned that on accidentally, I would probably think it was, like an episode of some reality TV show.
Yeah. Is that what it is, or is it just a scripted like comedy, or I thought it's not it's not a reality show?
It's not a reality show, but it kind of makes fun of them a little bit. It's these guys living on a trailer park who produce marijuana, and back when that was filmed, marijuana had not been legalized in Canada yet. It was filmed here in Canada, and they were always having trouble with the law. There's one guy, Ricky, and Julian. Those two guys are the two main characters. And Julian always has this rum and coke in his hand in a glass. And the glass is always half full or half empty, depending if you're optimistic or pessimistic. Anyway, he would drink from it throughout the show, but it would always be at the half line. It never changed. And they had little details like that mixed in there. It was very well thought out, I thought. And they had Ricky, he can't stop swearing, and he's constantly smoking and swearing, and he's the one time there was an episode where they went to court, and he's in front of a judge, and the lawyer is presenting his case, and then Ricky is presenting himself. Bad idea, Ricky. But anyway, he can't afford a lawyer, but he swears, and then he's asked not to swear, and then he argues to the judge that he can't communicate himself correctly without swearing, and so the judge allows him to swear.
That's
and
funny.
He swears just almost constantly through his whole testimony there. And people would say, oh, that would never happen, but here in Canada it could actually happen because
just right.
because we have under our charter rights and freedoms, well, we have freedom of expression, but everybody also has equal access to the law.
Yeah.
And so in a way it may actually comply with the charter by them demonstrating that. So there's elements of all kinds of interesting things in this show.
But Judge,
I might have to
when
check
I
it
put
out
my
just
hand
to
on
see
the
if-
Bible, they told me to swear.
Yeah.
Very
you
good
go.
one. Yeah. Well, we didn't mean that literally. Oh, are you an apologist? Like, how do I know your interpretation is correct? Oh, that would be fun.
I might have to check it out just to see if Canadian trailer parks are anything like Texas trailer parks.
There's probably similarities and differences. You know how it is. So it's let's see. I think I found it. It's called Crystal Head Vodka. That's the.
Sounds expensive.
Oh yeah, Dan Aykroyd's been created this and is promoting it, and it's quite interesting. It comes in a bottle shaped like a skull.
Okay, I've seen that bottle in the stores.
Yeah.
I'll have a picture for you in just a sec here. Yeah, the spelling of his name is always an easy one to forget because it's a little bit unusual. But let me see here. Crystal Head Vodka. Yeah, I'll share that, and then you can put it up on the screen, and everybody can see. It's got his name all over it, and all right, let's see here.
Okay, do I get anything for the product placement?
Product placement? No, we were talking about it earlier. I just wanted to show you quickly what it is here. He's a Canadian guy, but
Oh, hi, Faye.
Hi, Faye.
No, you
I
can
don't
come
drink,
in at
but-
any time.
Come on, Faye.
I don't drink. But I thought the bottle looks pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I've seen that at the store.
Yeah, it kind of looks just like that, eh?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's definitely one, that I'd take the empty bottle and put some LED lights in it.
Put
Oh,
what
yeah.
in it?
Put some LED lights in it so you can
Oh,
have
yeah.
it glow different colors.
Oh, LED. Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome. Yeah, that'd be great for Halloween.
I bought a bottle of vodka, and I don't normally drink vodka. I went through a vodka spell back in the my younger days, but I bought a bottle of vodka just because you could, after you were done with it, you could turn it into a bong. And I did. I can't smoke out of it because it just damn near kills me, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
So I
Faye,
have
I
this.
saw you pop in there, but it said device not connected, so it wasn't seeing your microphone or something. There you are.
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
Hello.
Hi, Faye.
Hello, Faye.
It's the Wonder Lady.
Hey! I just got here. So what are we talking about? Yeah. Ready to go. Right here.
Oh, you sound great. Are you feeling better?
No.
Oh,
She says that in such a delightful
I've
tone.
had a ton of caffeine though.
She said that
So
was
I'm,
such a
oh,
delightful
okay.
tone. Yeah,
so
such a
I'm
delightful tone.
energized.
There you go.
Arr.
Zoom.
I was amusing myself last night making Lucy laugh.
Making Lucy
From
laugh.
I went to her thing and I was over in the chat. So I was writing about that taste thing, you know how men are some men, sorry Randolph, I don't mean to speak for you. I have been dipping
Okay, I can take it.
popsicles in soy sauce to see
Uh-huh.
different tastings.
Are they still
So
doing that?
yeah, so I told her about it. And you should have seen the expression on her face. I broke Lucy. I
You
broke
broke Lucy.
Lucy. I broke Lucy. The look on her face, and she looked it up because I told her what to Google. And everyone in the chat is like, "What?" It was the most fun I've had in a while.
Oh,
Anyway, how's everybody?
good.
Good to hear
I
you're
haven't
having
been
fun.
awake very long.
Yeah, actually good for a change. Usually okay is the best I'll ever get, but
Yeah, I hear you've been healing.
since I feel things are going to improve here.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
I tweeted out your fundraiser, sweetie.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you. I was mentioning that I'm amazed that how many times it's been retweeted in the last 6 hours.
We care about you.
You know,
Do we
just
need to do
literally
another
dozens of
stream-a-thon?
people. Yeah, just
I'm up.
dozens of people on Twitter have sent it out again.
I'm
Well,
up for
mine-
another stream-a-thon. Let's do it.
The money I'm getting this week has to go to the landlord, but next week I plan on making a donation. So I don't want you to think that I'm just like,
Yes.
oh, I'll talk and no backbone.
No. I've got nothing wrong with that. I know there are some people who are hurting for money worse than I am.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want anyone to feel pressured that they have to contribute.
It'll
I
happen.
get it.
I'm with like fam this week for a deposit.
I think
Yeah,
the
so-
fact that so many people are in need of money is really shows capitalism is a failure.
Oh, big
Oh.
time.
I just took 4 ladies shopping for groceries, and
Wow.
a few of them burst into tears because things like, you know, food prices have gone up $2 to $3 per item per thing in
Yeah.
our area, and they're like, "What?" It's like they have to ship everything here, honey.
Yep.
So we made plans to take, for me to haul their butts to the food pantry next month. Or I should say next week. Why did I say next month? Anyway. But we're going to do the whole thing and see what we can do. And maybe we can get some paper products.
Yeah.
But if not, I'll buy one of them toilet paper. It's not a big deal.
Yep. Prices keep going up. They want $2 for one avocado at my grocery store.
Wow.
That's cheap here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Damn. Because that's ridiculous here. They're usually like 85 cents or something a piece.
Well, I think Faye's in a similar situation where I am here, that everything's got to be trucked in, so all the produce is like 2 days later to get on the store shelves, so by the time it gets here, it looks like crap and it's 4 times the price.
I am a little closer to Mexico, so that's probably why it's a little cheaper down here, I guess.
Well, it's an
Yeah.
argument I got into over the vegan thing, and it's like, I have to eat what I can afford, and the only thing that's cheap here really is literally meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
I can get ground beef or chicken breasts for $1.99 a pound.
Yeah.
A head of broccoli costs $4 a pound.
$1.99? I should move there.
Well, like I say, the meat and potatoes are cheap. If you want
Yeah.
anything else, forget it.
It's like $4 a pound here.
And well,
For ground
because
beef?
of that, though,
No, for chicken.
Oh.
yeah, but because of that, it's really screwed up my diet. It's like my weight stayed constant for close to 40 years. And in the 4 years I've lived here, I've put on over 20 pounds.
Well, I know
And it's
around
going to
here.
keep going up. It's just, yeah, because I can't get the fresh produce. I used to like live off of chef salads for weeks at a time.
We got great prices on maple syrup. So if you want real maple syrup, you come here.
There you go.
My last apartment, behind my apartment, there was so many maple trees. And in springtime, people would I used to call it their milk in the trees because they'd go and pick up the pots and things like that. It's like, yep, milk in the
Yeah.
trees. My mother's like, you're terrible. It's like, well,
Oh, bye,
it sounds
Philip. Have a good
nicer
one.
than bleeding them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Bye,
uncle
Philip.
used to do that around here, that he used to tap the maple trees and make his own syrup. And
Mhm.
yeah, just the quantity, the way it boils down. I forget how many buckets of sap he needed to make 1 gallon of maple syrup.
It's obnoxious, I know, but still, it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in a debate recently on modern day debate with deflating atheism, and
Well,
at
you
one
have a
point,
big name, so of course you'll be asked to debate.
well, he asked me, "What do we do up here in Canada besides tapping maple trees?"
That sounds so sexual, doesn't it? I'm tapping the maple
Oh,
trees.
yeah, you're talking about big names, and you're talking about tapping. I don't know, Wonder Lady. Maybe there's more to this happiness recently that you're exhibiting than we realize.
I had to take 4 perverted little old ladies to Walmart, and they were cracking the jokes, I tell you.
I bet you.
You heard everything, and then
And,
some.
and I had 2 cups of coffee while I was out there, so I wouldn't pass out behind the thing because I'm hopped up on cold medicine. So, woo!
Enjoy,
I'm like,
enjoy the
Yeah.
high while it lasts.
I'm like, I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you want some coffee? And I'm like, yeah. So I had a second cup, and I'm going, oh, I'm gonna be buzzing. So
Yeah.
I'm actually glad that Purple, you've got a stream going on right now, so I can run my mouth.
Yeah,
Go.
that's one of the reasons that Sloth Girl is such a help to me, is with my sleep being so erratic and it being an hour drive to everything.
Mm.
I need somebody who can drive for me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd stand a pretty good chance of falling asleep behind the wheel just trying to go and get groceries or go to the doctor.
I understand that completely because I do a lot of driving, so that one woman's like, I don't want to go to the store with my husband. He'll fall asleep halfway there.
Yeah.
We'll die. And I'm going, well, that's what you got me for the next 10 years or so. And then I'm probably I'll be too old to drive, and they're like, no, you won't. You'll be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had enough experiences driving, fighting to keep my eyes open. And I keep a bottle of the caffeine pills in the car,
Mm.
and I never really compared until recently, but I went and looked at them and realized that each one of those pills has the same amount of caffeine as drinking a 6 pack of Coke.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Without
my
the bubbles.
My kidneys just started to ache.
Right?
Just kidney punched me, Purple. How dare you? Oh, no, seriously. I get that, and they're not good for you. And if you could have her drive, that's
Yeah.
excellent.
Oh no,
really
they're
smart
definitely
thing.
not good for me because I can feel the way my system revs with that. It is very much the same sensation of an anxiety attack coming on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I definitely have an anxiety disorder, so that's not, you know,
Yeah, we don't want to do that on
it's
purpose.
like either I can be falling asleep or I can be panicking. Which one do you want while I'm driving?
No. Thank you. Neither.
Neither sound like a good idea.
You know, because just the feeling that I might be having an anxiety attack is enough to trigger an actual anxiety attack.
Exactly.
Huh.
No, but Randolph,
Yeah.
before I forget, over the last couple of years, like I met Angie last year. It's been lovely. She's
Me too. Yeah,
wonderful.
online here.
But
Yeah.
Angie never said, "Oh, I gotta get some people with some big names on my channel." Like she hasn't gone fishing, and I just noticed there's been like 5 different people who shall remain nameless who are looking for big names for their YouTube when they first start, and I don't really think that's the way to go. What do you think, Purple, Angie, Richard?
Uh,
Let-
I
I
go
mean, Randall.
through connections. Like if I don't know how to explain it.
You may
Someone
I,
will recommend go watch this channel. Well, I'll go watch that channel, and then if I like it, then I want to make friends with that person. So that's my goal, is to meet people. But I don't know any big names.
So
Like
you're going after quality?
I'm going after people I like and who I think would be interesting to have around.
Yeah, like quality, people you
Yeah,
value.
yeah.
I think that's perfectly reasonable. Um,
yeah,
I
I think it's
suspect.
more a question of finding people, who are relevant to what you feel your channel is about.
I'm mostly looking for people who can just tolerate me.
What? You're running into that problem? Huh. I don't see
Considering
why.
that, considering a lot of my what do you call it, loves are people like Caitlin from Ask a Mortician. Can you imagine if I was gonna have a debate with her? I'd have to like, okay, what were we gonna debate about? I don't know whether or not liquefaction of bodies is better than burning them environmentally. Okay, who would she debate? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So,
haven't gotten into any hard topics yet, so and I mean, it would be nice to do collabs with some people who are better known, and I've got some ideas for that, but we'll see what I can put together.
just in case the audience isn't familiar with what Faye is referring to, yesterday someone by the name of Saint Dunstan had posted a message on Twitter. Uh, what atheist should I debate for the month of April? Please help. 2 reasons why I'm doing this is to honor God with my gifts and to defend Western civilization. I've already conversed with Doctors Oppie and Law, as well as Dan Barker. I'm lining up the biggest names I can get. And then I replied, what topic would you like to discuss? I'm with the Canadian Atheists, and my first and last names consist of 17 letters. Is my name big enough? So,
And you left out your middle name, which is pretty long too. So
yeah. So, yeah, I figure I'll go with the humble approach. But they this whole thing about bringing big names onto their channel, I guess um, if somebody's famous is obviously what they mean. In a way, they'll ride the coattails of that person's fame and bring in many new viewers and subscribers. Perhaps I suspect is probably the main motivation.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, certainly, you get a bigger audience. I mean, one of my biggest streams were because Surus and Bad Tempered Badger kind of took over and discussed Star Wars for 2 hours. So just
Oh,
because Surus showed up in the thumbnail, that one's got a lot more hits.
yeah.
Yeah. One reply to my message was from Critical Cripple Dave. He wrote, "If I legally change my name, what sort of name would I need? How many letters?" I love the internet for this stuff. It's fantastic. People bring in all kinds of hilarity,
Yep.
sometimes sarcasm and satire. It makes it awesome. It's great. I favor it all. Yeah. The person who posted that originally might feel like, oh, they're mocking me. Oh, these people. Okay, mock
yeah,
all
we
you like.
are.
Yeah,
Yep.
At least
much.
they're getting attention because of like the big name thing. Like, there's tons of big names out there, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'd be good in a debate. I think one of the like, wouldn't you rather have Christopher Hitchens debate than Richard Dawkins? I mean, Richard Dawkins is fine and he's lovely and he's smart and everything else, but I would prefer Christopher Hitchens, actually, I would prefer Stephen Fry on my side.
Yeah.
Because Stephen Fry has a mastery of language, and so did Christopher Hitchens. Don't get me wrong, but I think Stephen was more elevated in that way because of maybe I don't know. Stephen just, if you read his writing
With words,
and
he
know
has
his
a way.
works, I love him. I love him. I
Yes.
can't help it. I'm biased. But he was in the debate with Christopher Hitchens against on Intelligence Squared
Yeah.
about is the Catholic Church a force for good in the world? And they all had this debate, and Bitchface and Bishop whatever, they were in it. Like their arguments were so bad, Angie.
They were. I watched it. Yeah.
They were so
really
bad.
bad.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, he was Christopher Hitchens turned around and tore down that old lady's argument,
Yeah.
and
And
she just kept her head just kept going closer and closer to the table as one devastating blow after another she was taking in. Like,
Yeah.
it was just fantastic.
well, Stephen Fry brought up the whole. No, it was Christopher Hitchens. He brought up the
Hitchens
whole
was doing
thing of
that.
Stephen
He's got
and
a way of
him
doing
both talked about the child rape from the Catholic Church, and
That's terrible.
Whitcomb went up and she was just like, oh, well, that was a long time ago, like all these things that the church did. And Stephen's retort was something like, oh, I knew you'd bring up blah, blah, blah. It's a long time ago. And he's like, but you're supposed to be like this unending whatever, blah, 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 source of wisdom. And he's like, and if this is not your business, then what are you for?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, Stephen, I love you. Oh, you just make me so happy.
You know how in all these financial TV shows where they have people coming on as experts and they need to disclose any possible conflicts of interest by disclosing which investments they have and whatnot before they start?
They don't
so
do that with politicians, but they should.
Yeah. Well, I'm suggesting that we should be doing this with Catholic clergy as well, and we should be asking the following questions. Did this clergy, before they answer anything, before they explain anything, we should be asking the very first question should just by standard always be, did he rape any children? If so, how many? And did he rape any nuns? If so, how many? I would love for this to become a fad, that anybody interviewing any Catholic clergy always starts with those questions, as if they have to disclose it, just like the financial people have to disclose the stocks they invest in, just because it's been such a terrible epidemic. It's been gone on so strongly, and because the Vatican has worked so fervently to hide these people from and remove them from the reach of the law and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, I would like to ask them about crimes anyway. You know, not just sexual assault.
Sure, but let's start with those two. Let's start with those two every single time.
Start with those two, but make sure that there also haven't been, I don't know, serving time for embezzlement or under investigation for misappropriation of funds or defrauding anyone or because a lot of people, and maybe I'm being unfair, but I feel like in the United States, there's kind of like this thing where you have people who go into the church as like a career, thinking, okay, I can be really popular, I can feed my ego, I can be alone with people that I'm interested in romantically, and I get all this money, and it's just like, you know, and then you watch a true crime show and you find out, yeah, this person had a criminal history beforehand, went into the church, murdered someone, or whatever. You know, there's things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know there's a lot of different bad things going on. It's unfortunate. It's and now, like, I think there's been some recent news with the Mormon. Is it the Mormons who have what, $127 billion in savings or something, or 120?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that surprised a lot of people. And the thing is, it seems that these organizations that have become extremely filthy rich have the cuppeth floweth over, it seems. and filling up the whole room. It's with all their wealth. They seem to be the biggest offenders that are creating the worst problems for people and committing the worst crimes. It's there seems to be a bit of a pattern there. It's kind of worrisome. The church is very rich, and they've been hurting a lot of children. The Islamic regimes out there that are very rich have been systematically hurting a lot of people. And we've got the Mormons, and there's all these people recently.
What about the Jehovah Witnesses? You say anything about them once you leave, they take you to court and they make sure you rot there. They pick your bones clean, then they piss into your skull, and then they pass it around, dropping the urine into their eyes. They're so happy.
Yeah,
I mean, they make tons
Scientologists.
of money, but they basically, Scientologists do. They use the courts to intimidate their members and former members, and, you know, even people that they want in, like, you're going to join, right? Nah. You know, and they can harass people and harass people and harass people. I've seen many YouTube videos where it's like, my husband's not home. No, we're not interested. We're not interested. It's like, we'll be back. Don't come back.
If you come back, I'm getting the BB gun.
And
I
it's
got
just like
followed
they
around.
don't care.
I was followed around by the Scientologists once, and I noticed this car following me, and then I would go through a traffic light, and they'd run the red light to keep up with me, but at a distance, and this kept happening, and so of course I called the RCMP, and then the officer later told me what's going on. He's a PI who works for the Scientologists, and okay, this particular officer ran into this guy before, apparently. So it's like, oh, wow, interesting. After that, they left me alone, but it was bizarre. I did have some interactions with them, and prior to that happening, and one of the employees of that company was asking me if I was if I follow any religion, and so just to kind of, this was a long time ago, I just said, just follow the Buddhist philosophy, because I found in the business environment used to be that was an easy explanation that wouldn't offend people. But now I don't care. I just tell them I'm an atheist. But I guess they wanted to find out more about me before inviting me to join or something. I don't know what the intention was with that. So.
Oh my.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, some things on the side chat just caught me and connected a strange way.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
I want to know how I'm doing ASMR. Am I like breathing on the mic?
Yeah, well, just a
Now
face
they're talking
comment
about
about
feet are weird.
ASMR, and then Cripple said I could listen to you rant all day. So,
Aw.
so what? You're going to rant in very soothing whispers?
Rant or pent? Did they type that properly?
Oh, I'm known for my rants, honey.
Yes.
I get. Someone lights a flame under my butt, and then I gotta let it run.
I'm trying to listen to y'all and watch them, and y'all are talking about all this serious stuff, and they're making me grin, and I'm just like, oh my god, I look like an idiot.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm trying to keep up with both here.
A good story about that, but maybe I should save it for a $50 donation. Well, Purple, one of the things that we could do to make it so that one person doesn't have to carry the burden of the $50 donation is if your fundraiser goes up $50, no matter how many people do it, at that $50 mark, that's when you tell that story.
Yeah.
You know, and then we can keep going. And we can find out all your shit, and you know whether or not you've enjoyed warm socks from the dryer.
On my feet.
I recently bought some socks that all the toes are cut open. They're very comfortable, and I'm going to get more of them. My feet sweat a lot, so it's been quite nice, actually.
You
My
want
feet
to know?
don't get too hot.
Now that we're talking about socks and stuff, even though I brought it
As
up,
far as the donations go, we're actually doing very well here.
that's excellent. What are we at?
Between the PayPal and the GoFundMe, we've actually gotten $180 since the stream started.
Excellent.
Nice.
Well, this is the way my afternoon went. We were all walking into the store. Mind you, it's snowing. because it's going to be snowing here for the next 3 days.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I'm with these ladies, and one of them says to the other, "I gotta remember to buy a packet of underwear." And the other one goes, "Oh, I got these new fancy underwears. They're clear." She pulls down her pants. She's not wearing any underwear at all. These are the type of people I bring to the goddamn store. And she's showing her bony butt to the entire Walmart and parking lot.
Whoa.
It's like, what?
Well, that's appropriate.
I was like, I think you need to pull up your pants now. She's like, you like my new fancy invisible underwear?
Oh my god.
She's like, they're new. They never stink. I never have trouble getting stains out of them. She's like, oh my god.
You've got to be careful where she sits, though.
Well, after
I
she
am
pulled her
not
pants up, it was
recommending-
fine.
I am not recommending anyone do this, but there is
No.
a whole series of YouTube videos titled "The People of Walmart."
Oh yeah, there's
Oh, yeah.
a whole website about that. Yeah.
Do, 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 do.
Yep.
That's what I sing to myself anytime someone sends me that like.
Mana.
Because some
Yeah.
people, they're like, oh, look how tacky this person is. And I'm like, they're obviously on the way to a costume party. Not a big deal. You should see the way I've gone to a diner in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's more like the people who show up, in a bathrobe and slippers, and
I've
and
done
you're
that.
hoping that belt doesn't come loose because you're not sure if there's anything under the bathrobe.
I've worn my green satin pajama pants with a black sequined corset. Because I was like, it was after a party. I was taking off my clothes, blah, 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 put on my pajama pants and was like, you want to go to diner? It's like, yes! Do I change? No, I just throw a hoodie over the bustier and let's go.
There you go.
There you go. There's some Walmart shoppers.
I am not dressing
Oh,
up for
my.
disco fries, okay?
That's some of the nice stuff. These people are classy compared to some of the other
Okay.
stuff that's on
Now,
the
see, I would never do that just because I will not wear a company logo unless they pay me.
Right.
I mean, the closest I'll get to that is I wear the Menards t-shirts because they give them to me for free.
That's a good reason.
If they're willing to give me free shirts, okay, then I'll advertise for them. That's about it. I am not going to pay a company so that I can wear their logo.
Yeah.
Well, I think the philosophy around
I
here
agree.
is if I can buy it at Walmart, I can wear it to Walmart.
Do you think they bought that at Walmart?
Possibly. I have seen some things at my Walmart, yes. They had an entire collection of ugly Christmas outfits. this
Years
time
ago,
around.
Years ago, my wife and I went to Walmart once, and there was somebody dressed up with crazy hair that was bigger than 80s hair and all these colors in it, and they're wearing next to nothing, and it's just the most bizarre thing we ever seen. I had body paint all over.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know I went to Canada that week.
Oh, that was you? Ah, so we have met. Okay.
I have walked into stores in full Halloween costume.
But you did that at Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it might have been the weekend before Halloween. It depends
Close
on
enough.
what the party was, but
This is happening at Walmart all year round, apparently.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with it. Bring it on. Woo! I'm tired of just, I'm in the appropriate jeans with an appropriate shirt.
yeah, kind of boring.
I'm wondering if, there's no shirt, no service, blah, blah, blah. It's like, why do you have to wear a shirt to Walmart? And can you get away with not wearing a shirt to Walmart if you're wearing pasties?
Actually, here in Canada, there's no law prohibiting men or women from going topless in public.
Ooh.
And it was challenged in the law here in a few provinces many years ago. That, like, for example, in BC here, I think it was in Vancouver, one of the beaches, there was a woman who was topless, and somehow somebody complained to the police. The Vancouver police came and arrested her. And then she fought it in court and won. And the judges sided with our Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
Awesome.
You can't discriminate against people based on sex.
That's been challenged in a couple of places in the U.S.
Great.
And I think there are like 2 states now that they declared that it was unconstitutional because it was sexual discrimination.
Oh.
Although offhand, I can't remember where.
It's unfortunate that that doesn't flow right through the whole country when it comes to constitutional decisions. It really should.
Well, most of the states in the United States, it's not illegal to be topless, male or female, but
Yeah.
you have to go by individual counties and states and stuff too, where they've got their own little sub rules. So, but
Oh boy.
I think there's like 5 states where it's not okay, but most of them are pretty equal opportunity.
I
know
didn't know it was
Texas
that
is one of them.
widespread.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. There's been an ongoing war for a while now to get this straightened out, but there's only a few left that are not okay with it. And like my city has a nudity ordinance, so I can be topless as long as I'm outside the city limits.
Most of the stores where I grew up in New Jersey have no shirt, no shoes, no service on
Yeah.
their doors.
That's
Yeah.
private
But
property.
if you're
That's
wearing a
store.
bikini top, it counts as a shirt somehow. Because I've done that with a pair of cutoffs, and they're like, yeah, no problem. I'm wearing slaps on my feet, and no, that's fine.
Sounds like you're bringing back the 1970s. Great.
Well, gotta do a thing.
Good times.
Well, I had to
Yeah.
have that sign on my beauty shop because it's state law.
It reminds me of a news story I read like back in the late 1990s that a rather well-endowed woman robbed a bank topless. Not a single one of the male witnesses could describe her face.
That's
Lovely.
hysterical.
So much better than a mask.
Yeah, way better than a mask. Get you some tassels and go on for it.
Oh, they need the ta-ta top.
Yes, they need the ta-ta top. I
No,
never
it's
wear my
very-
ta-ta top anymore because I have kids now. So, and even though I don't think it's inappropriate at all, there are legal bodies in the world who would frown on it because I'm not their mother.
Yeah.
And was it Iowa recently that one lady got in trouble for taking her shirt off while they were doing drywall, and because she's a stepmother or something, it was lewd behavior to a child or something. She got in a lot of trouble. I think that's
was it doing
ridiculous.
yeah, I read about that, about a woman that got in trouble for being topless in her own home because it was her stepkids.
Yeah, and so I have to be careful. I think it's
just
terrible. And where I live, it's
Sorry, she was topless
naked
in
is
her
bad.
Yeah, apparently it's lewd to be topless in your own home in some states.
Well, they got her on, the charge of exposing herself to a minor.
Yeah,
That's
Ridiculous.
ridiculous.
it is.
Sounds like somebody's been peeking into her home and reporting on her. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, since it was her stepchildren, my guess would probably be that, they went back and mentioned it to their mom who turned her in. That would probably be the situation.
Yeah, the
Okay,
thing is, unless you were there,
Yeah.
because
I
how many
thought
people went through awful divorces and the ex is making up weird things. He's preparing them for alien sacrifice.
I think it was the kid went to school and said something to a friend or something to a teacher, and just said it in passing, but the teacher or whatever freaked out and called the law.
Hmm.
Yeah, whereas I was the pagan raising other people's kids because the good Christians kicked them out of their house.
Yeah, that's what would scare me is one of the girls go to school and say, "I saw Granny's boobies," and then the shit would hit the fan. I don't remember ever seeing my mother or my grandmother or anybody topless. Saw them in their bra, but no, I didn't get any kind of anatomy lessons from my parents. I got that from my mother's medical books on the shelf.
Yeah.
with the little plastic film pages in between. Oh, look.
Oh my.
Yeah, be
Alright.
mindful said, I'm not sure why guys don't rob places pantless. Um, a lot of women would not be intimidated by that. They would just grab and twist.
I wouldn't be able to
Something
function
about
because I'd be
that.
laughing too hard.
Isn't there something about that in the Bible?
Yeah. Like, you
Yeah.
come and get your own money, dude. I'm broke. You broke me. I'm done.
Just be too easy to put a guy on the floor that way.
Not only that, but how many dick pics does a person have to? It's like we're immune between
No.
Hold on, that's my door
men
buzzer.
flashing and blah blah blah.
There's-
Before there were dick pics, there was let's drive up to the side of her car and show her our junk.
There
It's
was
like-
there was when I ran some female troll accounts back on Google Plus. I had before they shut it down. That was a great social network. It's too bad it's shut down. But the female accounts, they would get guys hitting on them, sending them those kinds of pictures you talked about, and it gave me some perspectives, like to be online and just let everybody know you're female. It can be a real liability. It's there's a lot of creeps out there. It was quite disappointing, actually.
It is. Let me show you my junk. Why?
Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't want to see it, and I know you don't want to see it.
Well, once you've
Like-
seen one, I mean, okay, granted, they come in different colors, shapes. Sometimes they lean to the
Well,
left or
actually-
the right, or they're twisted, or they're just.
I'm going to correct that old
Sad.
thing, because when you've seen one, well, maybe you've seen either all those that have been cut or all those that haven't been cut. Circumcision changes the look.
There is a huge
In a very
variety
bad
out
way.
there.
Sometimes
It's
they're
done.
bent in weird ways, kind of like a mistreated balloon animal, you know.
Yeah. Yep. It's like, did you have a bicycle accident when you were young?
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Oh boy!
Randolph,
It's like
I do
a-
need you to send me the one with the Lego man on Twitter.
All right, will do. I'll do that right away.
Some of them are
For
like
some
a-
reason, I can't download it from here.
Oh yeah, this won't let you download. So
I was gonna say some of them are like a sinking ship, and they list
Right.
a little bit.
I don't have a problem with weird dick pics and stuff like that because I'm not a, quote, young, beautiful, attractive, available type female, so they don't
Yeah.
bother me.
I think the problem isn't so much the picture. The problem is the intent behind it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
If they're
It's a weird
intent
thing
is,
to send.
I don't know. I don't know.
And
I
there's
don't flirt
a
well.
there's a politician named Anthony Weiner sending those kind of pictures. Well, he has coincidentally quite the name for it.
I was gonna say with that name, maybe he's like contractually obligated.
Well,
Oh,
don't you know that poor man has had problems ever since he was a kid? Because you know they gave him shit in elementary school. You know they did.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's heard it all.
Like, change the pronunciation. It's Weiner. It's not Wiener. It's Weiner.
That's not going to make things better. Just different.
One of the favorite stories that Stephen Fry told, I think it was on QI, is that in school, I think it was boarding school or whatever, I'm not sure, or it was university. One of the guy was called Beans, right? Yeah,
Beans?
like they either Franken beans or just beans, and it was just like what? So he was like, oh, it's like, yeah, what, why? And they're like, well, he was caught masturbating with baked beans on his, and it was just like, oh, that's
With
why they
baked
call him
beans.
that.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't want to know.
Yeah,
that's
those weird
that's all-
earned
that's
nicknames
all
are
the
always.
information. That's all the information everyone got, and I think it might have been all the information Stephen got. But I've had a good chuckle, and it's never left my memory. So, thank you, Stephen. Thank you for putting that permanently in my brain. I love you.
Yes.
Yeah, there are all sorts of fetishes, especially with food, and it's like I don't understand a lot of them. I don't want to think about them long enough to try to.
Yeah.
Well, some of them make sense.
Yeah, well, and I was in the fetish community. My fiance was actually, she was a professional dominatrix years before she met me.
Yeah.
So we belonged to a couple of BDSM groups, and I went to some interesting parties. I saw some things I would never try and some things that I would rather I had never seen, but that was just kind of part of the package with that group.
My
Yeah,
But
impression.
I thought I
they
was
were all
pretty.
very respectful. Nobody ever tried to push me into doing something that I didn't want to do.
I was just going to say, my impression of the BDSM communities is generally that consent is a centerpiece of everything. It's very important.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they would even, when there were more extreme activities going on, they would even warn people or even put a sign on the door about, what the subject was so people didn't walk in and into something that they weren't prepared for.
Oh yeah.
What were you going to say, Angie? I'm so curious.
I used to think I was pretty open-minded about stuff, and I know that I'm not now since coming to YouTube and seeing what's available. It's like, oh my, I'm so fucking square. It's not even funny.
Aww, you're not square.
Yeah, I'm pretty square. For a cool chick, I'm pretty square.
Oh, you're so cute.
My parents were severely square.
My mom was, why don't you go on the ride in the motorcycle? No, I don't want to. Go on, you're gonna enjoy it. I don't want to go on the motorcycle. Go now! Okay, Mom. I don't want to be on the motorcycle!
No, I don't do motorcycles anymore. I did when I was a kid. They were fun then, but I realize my mortality now, and I pretty much stay away from them.
I was a kid. I was the type of kid who didn't like that. It's like, how did David Mitchell say? Warning labels are for those like really really wild children and then you have children who are timorous, who don't need all those warning labels and extra anxiety. And I was one of those timorous children.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if I do that, I'm going to die.
Yeah, I was always the kid at the back of the group going, wait for me, And my sisters used to get so mad. There'd be a gap in the whatever we're climbing on that day, and it would be nothing serious, but being up high or whatever. And I'd get stuck there. I can't do it. I can't do it. Somebody help me. We're leaving you here. You're going to have to get off across it yourself. I didn't like being outside
You're
much.
be a skeletonized child in a tree.
Yeah, I didn't do outside well when I was a kid.
Yeah, I was never very good with heights, and unfortunately, with my job, I sometimes had to deal with it. But yeah, even ladders. But I've done roofing. It's like I do it when I have to, but I'm never comfortable with it.
Yeah. I was always the first one to start crying or get injured if we were playing rough or something, and so nobody ever wanted to play with me.
I love the outdoors. I like to get out in the forests. We go up and walk around. We've got forests and streams here that are beautiful. And the hiking trails are quite nice. I don't imagine you'd have any problems on them, Angie.
Now I probably would.
Oh, okay.
Overweight, bad knees, bad feet. Yeah, I still don't outside very well.
I'd be dragged around and they'd be like, let's go into the woods. And I'd be like, we're going to get ticks.
Yeah, what if there's a snake? Yeah.
No, it wasn't
those kind of things.
I don't think we had, well, I know there's some snakes, but it's like during the day. So it's like, we're going to get ticks. We're going to get a disease. It's going to get into our blood. We're all going to get fevers. Going to get a rash. There's poison ivy in there. Why are we going, like the whole time I'm sitting there going, we're going to get ticks. Are there any ticks on me? Look. Shut up!
I used to get in trouble for getting hurt, so I was like not open to that at all. So
I'm gonna get mud on my shoes. My grandma's gonna kill me. Shut up! It's like, what, can't
Yeah,
we
the
go to the
last
beach
time I took a
instead?
fall was I
Yep.
was doing a roofing job and the ladder shifted just as I was up at the top. So I fell 14 feet onto an asphalt parking lot
oh jeez.
and my shins came down right across one of the concrete stops with one foot twisted through the ladder.
Ow.
Ow.
Yeah. So
Uh,
that was the time I could barely walk for about 2 weeks, and one of my cats apparently, figured I wasn't going to feed myself and brought me 11 mice in the first 2 days.
Oh.
Oh,
That's
that's
a cat and mouse.
love.
So it's like, yeah, all the stuff about cats being aloof. But no, no, they try to take care of me too.
Yeah. Nerdy wouldn't finger paint because it was too messy.
That's adorable. Yeah, I was that kind of kid too, Nerdy.
I always liked playing in the dirt, making mud pies. Being messy was okay. Being social was hard for me.
I think the first time I got muddy or whatever, my grandmother sat me down and talked to me about parasites and puddles and mud. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm not doing that again. You didn't
My
put your
mom
hands
was like
near your
that.
mouth, did you? You didn't put your hands near your eyes or your mouth, did you? Did you? Let's scrub under those nails. You never know what's in there.
Yeah, my mom used to do that because I was a nail biter, and she would show me pictures of bacteria and stuff. This is what's under your fingernails. Don't put your hands in your mouth. And I was like, I don't care. You make me nervous, lady. Get away from me.
Well, I like the woods. It's definitely part of why I stayed with the pagan stuff for so long. Just talking to the trees worked for me. Um, the worst part of it though is the ticks and the mosquitoes.
I don't mind talking to trees. I talk to my houseplants all the time. Oh, you're looking well. Especially now that my cat has passed. She's not eating everything
Yeah.
or knocking things down. So, like, my plants are slowly recovering. I thought they were all dead. But, I just don't ever expect any mind behind them going, hey, I'm doing great. You want a flower?
Yeah. I don't expect them to talk back or anything.
Yeah.
I like
That's
being
actually going
outside
to be
if I
one
can
of the
just.
difficulties of the move. That Sloth Girl actually has some plants that are thriving for now, and worried about how well they're going to take it.
Yeah.
I've never been good with plants. It just everything dies on me, and now it's kind of a moot point for me to even try because Sammy's son, he gets over into her apartment and he just thinks that anything green is something he should be eating.
Yeah.
Oh, my cat liked to test gravity. She's
Yep.
like, wonder what will happen if I push this over the side. The whole, like, proving, the Earth is not
Yeah.
flat thing constantly.
I don't think it's a mystery to them. I think they know.
Now, see, cats aren't jerks. Cats are scientists. They're
Yeah.
constantly checking to make sure gravity is still working.
Mm-hmm. It's
Cats
true.
are awesome.
My cat has been sleeping on top of my bicycle seat.
Yeah, no, and see,
That's how big the seat on my bike is.
even that, Sammy's son doesn't do that. He doesn't knock things off. He's just
Well, apparently they can shoot out lasers from their eyes. There's a picture here. So I love this picture. Somebody went and added lasers. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Funny.
The cutest cat meme this morning. It was like a little couple-second video where the cat, it's an open door. I think it's a bathroom anyway. There's
Oh,
something
with
on
the
the
ball?
floor, little ball, and the cat's like, gets behind the door so it can reach and fail with its little paw to get the ball, even though it just basically stepped over the ball to get into the bathroom to get behind the door. Absolutely adorable.
Yep, I saw that one. Let's just make it a little harder. More interesting.
Yep.
strange little weirdo.
We
Love
had a
them.
possum invading our garage the last couple of weeks, and we finally got a live trap in there and got it caught. And that was a big possum. Oh my god, it was huge, and I think that's maybe why the cat's been up on the bicycle seat instead of down on the ground. It's like, at least from up here, I can swipe at your face if you come near me.
Aww.
But the possum has been rehomed in a nice wooded area far away from my house.
Well, yeah, because they eat ticks.
Yes, and there'll be another come along to take its place because they are abundant around here.
I love possums. I have a friend who is afraid of them forever.
Well, I
But
have
it
to
was
leave my garage door open a little bit so the cat can get in and out.
Yeah.
And it allows creatures in. So there's not much I can do about it.
Yeah, I started having that problem near the end when I was living in New York. Is the raccoons discovered the cat door and discovered they could come in and get the cat food.
My parents got one of those collars that the cat door recognizes will only open for those collars. It's
Oh,
electronic.
yeah.
Yep.
And one time we came home and parents would open the door and like 10 cats run out. They couldn't get out the back door. Our cats let them in, but neglected to let them out.
Oh, no.
They were having a party, I guess.
That's funny. That sounds like some kind of cartoon.
I
mean,
had that
it's like-
happen one time too, that the neighbor's cat came in. And when I came in, he ran, wound up going up the stairs, wound up in the empty bedroom and the whole upstairs was hardwood floors, no rugs. So I was in the doorway and this cat was like running loops around the room, panicking, trying to find a way to get out that he didn't have to go past me.
Uh.
And I swear there is nothing more hilarious than a cat on a hardwood floor panicking because he had
That's
absolutely no ability to brake or maneuver.
No
Just
traction.
going full speed, bouncing off the walls.
It's basically hyperkinetic ice skating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Pinball.
my sister and her husband have a cat door, and it's so easy for any critter to get in their house. It's not even funny, but they don't care because the cats will bring in critters too, like star-nosed shrews and things like that. But you have to understand something. My sister's house is mostly pink. On the
Okay.
There we go.
inside, it's super Hello Kitty, Area 51 Space Aliens, Halloween decorations, everything. Just lovely.
Yes.
Anyway, so
Cats are not inherently evil. They need to be trained for it.
she's got this big puffy bed with tons of pink and, homemade quilts and more
Yeah.
pink and more pink and more pink. And she usually wakes up with a cat or two in her bed. Her cats. Well, she wakes up one morning and snuggling in her arms is this great big ginger cat. Problem. She doesn't have a great big ginger cat. This brazen hussy was like, behind the ear, please. Come on. And she was like, oh, hello, handsome. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's weirder, having a cat panic because you walked into a room, or having just a strange one curl up in your arms in the middle of the night, like you'll do. Let me snuggle.
Can you send me that Purple Rhymes with Orange? If you could post that in the Twitter thread, that'd be great. I'd like
Okay,
to
yeah.
add that to my.
I had posted that in the public area Twitter, but
And
I'll send it
I've
more
got-
in private groups.
I've got the perfect follow-up church sign for you there for that one.
Okay, yeah, that last one I actually made. That was Sloth Girl's cat.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
If cats could text you, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If cats could text you, what?
If
They
cats
wouldn't.
could text you, they wouldn't.
We've
That's
got that's from a church sign that I have that we've got posted up right now.
That's funny.
Yeah, but Faye, what you were saying about, strange ones just curling up with you, that was when I was in New York. I re-domesticated 3 cats from the feral colony in the park.
Uh-huh.
And Fiona, that was the day that I realize that we'd really made a connection. When I was just laying there taking a nap on the couch and she just hopped up and curled up with me.
Aw,
It's like the food was there, she hadn't eaten yet, but just realizing that, yeah, there was something that was more important than the food to her now.
that's awesome. That's cool. I have a dog door, but my backyard is fenced. I don't know if dogs would let anything come in if it tried, but it smells like dog in my backyard. I don't think any critters want to go back there.
Yeah, usually not.
Less so with the dogs, yeah. The raccoons were a problem because raccoons will take on, they'll they'll gang up on animals that are 4 or 5
Yeah.
times their size.
I'm sorry, I
Raccoons
have
are
to go because I
fucking
have to make some calls here. But it was very,
Okay,
very nice chatting with all of you.
It
Thank you
was
very
good
yeah,
to
much.
see you again, Randolph.
Take care.
thanks.
Bye,
Bye.
Yep,
Randolph.
Bye.
catch you later. Bye bye.
See, the problem is Randolph's got another first name on the end of his name, even though it's Richardson. And I always, uh, for a while, I will teeter totter in my mind, going, "Is his last name Randolph? Is his last name Richard?" you know.
I I do that a lot. That I wind up that I start addressing something to him, and I start addressing it as Richard.
I did that today. I'm like, why did I do that? I know his name. And then knowing his middle name, it's like RCR RCR, but still. Anyway,
Richard Randolphson.
I know, right? You don't know. You don't never know.
Well, yeah, especially on the internet.
I am me. That's my name, Angie Dale. That's what my mama called me if I got in trouble. Angela Dale.
Ooh.
Yep, it was my mother's middle name too. Margie Dale and Angie Dale.
Yeah, it's funny. My brother, the the woman he married turned out just to have the same middle name he did.
That's cool.
So of course, then they had to give their son the same middle name. Well, what was even weirder was that he had given his daughter from his previous marriage his middle name. So now he and his wife and both of his kids all have the same middle name.
Aww.
My mom, being mindful, says my mom used the whole name. My maiden name was Hogan Miller, so there was not enough syllables in her breath of anger. It was Angela Dale, Angela Dale, to get it all out. The Hogan Miller never got stuck in there. So
Oh, that's cute.
if she said the middle name, you knew you were in trouble. You were probably fixing to get hit. So that's
I knew when I was in trouble if my grandmother had to use all her daughters' names before she got to mine.
yeah.
Because it's like, Joan, no. Peggy, no. And it's like, I'm not on the list yet.
What is your name? I will find out.
Eventually she would get to my name and I'd be like, Tim, okay,
Yeah.
I'm in a lot of trouble now.
Yeah, I figured my dad just could never tell who was who, so he just ran down the whole list every time.
Mom only had 3, so she didn't have to do that too often. I did get called by the dog's name once or twice. She would holler, somebody would, usually for being too loud, because she would yell at the dog for being barking and things. And yeah, I got called the dog's name once or twice, but she knew who she was yelling at almost always.
I got yelled at for barking quite a few times when I was a kid. When I was 32, they finally figured out I had Tourette's.
Oh, goodness. That's not funny.
Well, what's not funny is that it took them 30 years to figure it out, but
Mm-hmm. You stole that. You stole that from Bill Cosby.
what?
Was it
Doc
Bill
Pearson.
Cosby?
Doc Felix says, "My mother called me Jesus Christ, and my brother was
Oh,
damn it."
yep. Yeah, that was part of the Bill Cosby routine. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm sitting there going through different comedians. I'm like, is it? Is it? Is it? Is
I
it?
had the album. I used to listen to
Oh,
Bill
I
Cosby
believe you.
album.
Oh yeah, I had most of Bill Cosby's stuff, through the '70s on LPs.
Do you remember little tiny hairs? Little tiny hairs growing out my face. And I said, oh. Okay, and I guess you don't remember that one. Now that I could
I
ditch you.
do.
Oh, do you?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember the name of the album.
I don't remember the name of the
Himself.
album, but yeah, it was something about sports, like football stars doing a shaving commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was the ones I remember was Bill Cosby's Right, where he does the Noah thing.
Yep.
Right. And then there was another one that was Bill Cosby, and the title of the album was Himself. And that's the one where his wife's in labor and his kids are, he gets to chocolate cake the kids for breakfast and stuff.
Oh, I
like
love
that.
the chocolate cake routine.
That is great. He give us the chocolate cake. And yeah, I know he's a skeevy perv, but his shit was funny. No matter how you slice it, he was a magnificent storyteller.
Yeah, he really was.
Yeah, he was
Shame.
very talented.
Yeah.
And it is very unfortunate that things went that way. And for my fiance, he was very much a father figure. She never had a dad of any kind in her life.
Yeah.
So, in that respect, I'm kind of glad she never got to see that happen.
That
Right.
was going to
That
be
would
my
have really been
question. Did she
devastating
get
to
to
her.
see his fall? I'm glad she missed out. Like, I'm glad my grandmother did not know that too, because she loved Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
She really did. He was the only comedian who was clean enough for her to listen to,
Right.
and she'd laugh and laugh and never missed his show. And she was like, I just wish everybody was more like Bill. It's like, yeah, glad you didn't find out about him, Nana.
Yeah.
One of the things I've reflected on is like, you remember that the cartoon show of Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, now they won't run that anymore because it's considered racist, even though it was created by a black man.
I
I have a little
Yeah.
trouble processing some of the attitudes that get twisted up in that.
Well, it was definitely there's a lot of stereotypical characters
Oh,
in
yeah.
that cartoon, and I kind of get that. Like we bought a bunch of old cartoons for the kids a while back, old Looney Tunes and stuff like that. And I'm sitting there watching it with them, and I didn't realize, you don't think about it when you're a kid and you're watching it because you don't get it. But those little things they throw in there for the adults,
Yeah.
most of it was very like
Not
very
okay.
bad. Not okay.
Not okay.
Not
By
okay.
today's standards.
Yeah.
No.
And
Love
I
Looney
sit and
Tunes,
think
don't get me
about
wrong.
it. When I sit and think about it, it's like, how could it have ever been okay? Why was it ever okay? So, yes, I'm glad we've grown a little bit more kind to
Well,
people about the stereotypes and stuff. But yeah, the Fat Albert was a really good show, and it taught good lessons and stuff like that. But yeah, there was lots of stereotypes in that one.
Yeah. Well, and there is something though about kind of, you need to shine spotlights on the stereotypes to get some people to realize why they're not okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
but watching Fat Albert's not going to do that. Critiquing Fat Albert might do that, but
Yeah.
letting your kids watch it would not. So I don't know. I'm
Well,
torn
no, and
about
there's a
stuff.
lot of stuff I don't think kids should be watching alone, but some of it could be points for opening discussions. And I think
No, but
that's
sometimes
a
you
lot
don't
of the
wanna.
problem is that too many people don't pay attention to what their kids watch on TV.
Well, the problem I think is a television is not a babysitter.
Hello.
Like,
Please.
I'll be talking to Angie off camera.
Off camera.
Off camera. And her grandchildren will get bored, and next thing you know, there's kinetic sand involved. Like,
Play-Doh. Paint.
they're doing things. They're being
Yeah.
creative. They're exercising their little minds and little fingers, and maybe they're making a mess for her. But like, I don't hear you using the TV very much as a babysitter for the kids.
I don't deny that I do it occasionally. Like
There's nothing wrong
Saturdays.
with occasionally. Saturday morning cartoons were my favorite things in the world. And I
Yeah.
was upset when I had to do ballet freaking lessons. I'll go and put on your blue tutu and pretend that you care. I don't want to. Well, you're clumsy as shit. This is not going to cure it. It's genetic.
It's right.
Have you seen yourself, Mom? You are going to ballet.
Mine made me go to gymnastics.
You've got a duck butt. I've got a duck butt. I'm not like the rest of the kids. I got a butt. I can't tuck it. There's too much here to tuck. I'm always getting yelled at. I'm clumsy. I don't want to do ballet. I want to stay home and watch Saturday morning cartoons. You are getting up, young lady. I don't want to wear the leotard. I'll get you a tiara. Well,
Sold.
that's what it took. I took ballet because I got a tiara with it.
There you go.
And then after I got the tiara, it went back to, I don't want to. I want to sit at home with my tiara watching Saturday morning cartoons.
I wished I could have done ballet. My parents tried to get me into gymnastics, and it was just the saddest thing you ever saw. I'm the fat kid. There's all these cute little girls sitting in the line, and there's me. And, you had to go in stages, and I got to this point, and I couldn't get any further. I simply could not do a back walkover, like the back bend and then kick your legs over your head. I couldn't do it. I didn't have enough strength in my arms, and after about 3-4 weeks of me being the only kid still working on that, I thought, I don't want to go anymore. Everybody's laughing at me. Please, I don't want to go. Luckily, they did let me stop, but
Oh, dear.
it's like, I think the coach probably had a little thing to say, like, she's not going to be able to do this. I'm telling you now, she's too scared. She's afraid it's going to hurt. She doesn't want to fall down, even though there's a 4-inch thick mat here.
We would have been friends. Because I remember they were like, oh, let's do the vault. And I'm like, no.
Mm-mm.
Even stickball, it's like, oh, we're going to play. It's like every time they throw the ball, it hits my knuckles. Well, I don't want to play.
Yeah. I don't want to play. Balls are scary. I don't like balls. I got hit in the head with a ball when I was about 6 or 7 years old, and I ceased liking to be interested in anything played with a ball at that point. Even the big soft, like the kickballs they used to use. Oh, I hated kickballs so much because they were rolling that thing just as fast as they could towards me, and I'd have to kick it, and it was going to hurt my toe, and then I was going to have to run, and I don't run. I don't run well ever.
Well, I didn't want to hurt anyone else either. You don't want to bump into anyone and you stop and they're like, oh, gotcha. It's like, oh, got me. Big deal. At least I didn't run someone over to get away from you.
Yeah, at least good. I'm out. I can go sit down now.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, the side chat's always a little behind us, but Maya made a good statement there. It's not about offending people. Racists feel empowered to stereotype, belittle others because they believe the stereotypes. So putting it on TV undermines progress.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, even watching like Tom and Jerry, because my kids love Tom and Jerry, and there's almost never any dialogue or anything. But the mom of the house is always in the 1950s dress with a little apron, and she doesn't go out to work. She goes out to shop, but she doesn't work. And the dad comes home with his pipe and his newspaper, and he's that stupid cat, this just stereotypical stuff.
Yep.
And
in the Tom and Jerry, once in a while they had, I guess she was a housekeeper or something, but was just the Aunt Jemima stereotype.
Yeah. Yep. I don't think they play those as often on TV. Like you could.
I haven't seen that one on TV in 40 years.
They would use explosions to do blackface.
Yeah. Well, and like the Looney Tunes, the little um God, I don't even know what word to use for it anymore. The little like native guy, okay, with
Yeah,
the big white lips and the spear in the
yeah.
ooga booga or whatever that he said. It was like when you're a kid, you don't think about that because that was what savages were. And it's just I look at it now and I think, oh my God, how was that ever okay?
It wasn't.
No,
But
it
I
wasn't.
don't think there was any cartoon from back then that didn't include blackface occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whether it was from an explosion or slipping in an ink pot or what
yep,
have you, it was just like, what?
yep.
Well, and remember some of the product mascots we used to have, like the Frito Bandito.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
I still remember that song. I'm not gonna sing it though.
that's good.
Well, it does show how far we come that it's no longer a thing.
Yeah, that it's
And
recognizable.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
But
it's
at the
good that
same
as a
time,
society we've made some progress. And the worst thing about Trump being around is he showed me that we didn't make nearly as much progress as I thought we had.
well, he's a dinosaur.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he made it okay for them to come out and do it openly again.
They've also grabbing women.
well,
Yeah.
he's like a caricature of the typical white male.
Yeah, and it's just the hypocrisy of it. That if any Democratic congressman had pulled any of 100 things he's done, they
Right?
would have been out of office.
Yeah,
Well, that's why I'm disappointed in them. We've had the opportunity to get rid of him. I don't, you know, not necessarily as far as impeachment because it's only been one impeachment, but there was the Mueller report and all this other stuff, and if you read it, you'd be like, "What?" But
Well,
people are
I'm
just
just
making
disappointed in the
excuses.
general public that there are so many people who will continue to support him after all this shit.
Well, not to be sexist, but I'm more disappointed not just in the general public, because I know there are plenty of people who predate on women who are just like, yeah, I want a free pass for that,
yeah,
or they want to take away women's rights, but it's the women who are just like the ones that you hear on the radio or whatever being interviewed going, when it was the grab 'em by the pussy going, well, boys will be boys. It's locker room talk. It's okay. And you go, no, 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 no. Who, who, who are you trying to impress right now?
yeah. I'm with
What?
you. I don't know
What?
how a woman could endorse him at all.
I
Yeah.
don't.
Except I remember being in a place where I wanted to be the biblical woman, and submit to the husband and all that crap. And I just wonder how much of that is involved in that because people think they're doing it wrong, they're gonna say what they think the person they're trying to impress wants to hear.
Yeah. And just quite frankly, I've never had any. I mean, if anything, I would have gone with what they would have called a role reversal.
Yeah,
I would have rather been the one staying at home taking care of the kids.
There's nothing wrong with that.
not a bit.
Not to change the subject, today is Nadine's birthday.
Happy birthday to Nadine. Is she here?
Oh, happy birthday, Nadine. I don't
No,
think so. I
she's
haven't
not
No.
seen her.
here. I just saw a thing that from Josiah to Nadine, and it says happy birthday, and I'm like, oh dear.
Yeah, Facebook told me this morning it was her birthday. So I happy birthday to her on Facebook, but I haven't on Twitter yet. I didn't know if she would even get to see it or not.
Gonna
I don't
gonna
really
have
get on
to.
Facebook. I have a Facebook page, but I get on there once a month at most.
Yeah, I don't see you on there much.
Yeah, and actually part of that goes back to the same thing that unfortunately the Trump era made me learn things about some of my family and relatives, some of my relatives and friends that I would have rather not known.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm going to have to get out of here, guys, because I've got to get me something to eat and I got a couple errands to run before the kids get home from school. And I have to
Okay.
make a video and there's some other things I really need to be doing. But I sure enjoyed sitting and talking with you both, two of my favorite people on the interwebs.
Well, thanks for coming in.
Y'all go donate to Purple. Let's get him going. We got to
Well,
get him
we're
out of
off to
that
a
one
good
horse
start.
town.
We've got a couple of weeks. We're off to a good start, and I haven't even gotten everything like cataloged to post the prizes and that we were going to have for people. So
All right. Well, I'm up for another streamathon if we do that. I think that was fun the last time we did it. Let's do it again.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
It's just, you know, I hate to say it this way, but a lot of us who have participated in a lot of these fundraisers, we have sold you our stories, our embarrassments, our loves, our wetting our pants in front of people,
Yeah.
falling on our face on first dates, blah blah blah. If you really want to help and you're over in the side chat, maybe tell us your stories and we can raffle them off if you want to help Purple. I
There you
mean,
Well,
go.
come
I've got some
on.
stories of my own, but it's a matter of being sure of the audience because some of them, some people may find a bit off-putting. Some of them people will enjoy.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, but the thing is it's like come on, help us because we are running out of ways that we have embarrassed ourselves.
Pretty much.
And I'm not on camera, so I'm not taking a pie to the face cuz I'm not getting on camera. I mean, I would,
Oh yeah, we'll have to
but
get to that one.
you know, the embarrassing humiliation, twerking, body paints, what do you call it? That kind of thing. Yeah, it's a
Okay, did you
wonderful
get the
way
receipt?
to shaving
Because I'll
legs.
have
We
to give
had
them
Jim
the
Major
tracking number.
shave his leg once, but the thing is, it's we need ways, and one way. If we hit a certain dollar mark, we could tell your embarrassing story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. So,
Well, see,
you don't. Yeah.
my problem is mostly I have a lot of stories that if they were coming from a 25-year-old girl, people would think they were really hot. Coming from a 55-year-old man, they'll sound really creepy.
Those
That's even better.
are the
Uh,
best ones.
that's even better, Purple. Yeah. You be creepy. Come
I
on.
seriously gotta go. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Okay, bye,
Bye.
Angie.
Yeah, Purple. Be creepy.
Yeah, Sloth Girl just came in from running some errands.
Yay, sloth girl.
She said
Hi.
hi.
I heard her.
Okay.
Aw. How's she doing? Me too. I'm always hungry though.
Yeah, she's doing okay. She's, trying to be very careful, especially with the flu stuff and that. Because,
I got that last week,
yeah.
and that's with the flu shot.
Yeah,
So
and she
keep
took a
yours.
fall on the ice the other day, so I've, been ordering her to take it easy the last couple of days because we can't afford to have her strain anything right before we have to be loading and packing everything.
Not fun. Not fun. I don't like moving. I know nobody likes moving, but sometimes you gotta. Sometimes it's just, yep, you know what? I'm done with this town and I'm gonna
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, and I'd rather not be doing it while there's snow on the ground, but we've been waiting so long just to find apartments available that we could afford that we've got to take the opportunity when it's here.
hmm So what are you looking forward
Doc
to with the
Fearson, how
move?
about a $20 donation? I nail myself to a cross.
No! Don't injure
Yeah, Doc,
yourself.
it's definitely worth a lot more than $20 at least. Now, here's something I always wondered about that Jesus was the son of a carpenter. Did they make him build his own cross?
Who knows? You just have to go pick your own Switch so your parents could beat you with it. So
Well,
Talk about ironic.
then if
you
you
know,
you
I
made the
actually
mistake
have a
and
lot of
pick a thin one.
parallels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was the son of a carpenter born in a Jewish village.
Oh, funny.
Never occurred to me before. I like that one.
Well, Maya, if the flu shot lessened the severity of the symptoms that I had, I'm very, very grateful because this one really hurt. And I think without the flu shot, I would have been bedridden the entire week. Like, I know I'm not contagious anymore, so I'm dealing with people, but I'm still sick a little bit. You know, I saw the body aches and things like that. 4 times in 4 years, Orla? Oh, that's
Yeah,
terrible.
I had a period of time like that. I was basically moving every year. That really sucks.
That doesn't sound like fun at all. I
But
hate
yeah, pretty
moving.
much as long as I can
Two
get back to,
cats.
huh?
Middle of winter with 2 cats.
Yeah. Well, I was mentioning about the concerns of moving your plants.
Eh, they'll be warm enough in the car with me.
One of the times I moved, I had 2 cats at the time. I got the one cat in the carrier, blah blah blah. Empty apartment, by the way. Went to get the second cat. Second cat had disappeared. Could not find second cat.
Up this a little.
Do you know where second cat was? No idea. He just appeared out of nowhere. I think he may have been on top of a door because I didn't know that they could perch on top of doors.
Sammy does that.
Like,
Oh
where
yeah.
have you been? And he's looking at me like, I've only made you look for me for the last hour and a half. Little jerk. If I had left him, he would have died. Starved to death in an empty apartment with no food in it. Poor little guy.
Yeah.
But wasn't about to leave him behind. He's my pride and joy.
No. No, and that's Petunia's already getting kind of upset about the boxes packing, so we're wondering if maybe she wound up getting left at the shelter because when they moved, they couldn't take her with.
Oh
So I'm
no.
afraid that maybe she's getting the idea that since the boxes are getting packed, she's going to get abandoned.
Uh-uh. Not my
So
baby.
yeah, it's hard to explain it to her that yeah, no matter what happens, we're all going to stick together.
You need to get one your animals registered as therapy animals.
Well,
No,
okay,
my animal needs therapy.
yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, can we get a therapy human registered for the animal?
I'm her therapy human.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think landlords are very kind about things like that, but as long as you're going to a cat friendly place,
yeah. We got a whole addendum to the lease about their animal policies.
good. Because,
But
you
we can't
know,
touch the
I
cats.
I had a landlord call me and offer me an apartment, and I was just like, I have a cat. And they said, well, we don't accept animals. And they're trying to sell me this great lease because they heard I was a good tenant.
Hmm.
Uh, I always pay my bills. And I said, why on earth would I move to your apartment? I don't care if it's free. I'm never giving up my cat.
Yep.
And you can go. And I basically sat there and told him off for 5 minutes. Don't you ever your apartment, I don't care if it's gold plated, will never take the place of the joy my pet gives me.
Fold it in half and stuff it in sideways.
Yeah, I've
Yes,
had that
fold it in
same
half
argument
and
with a few people that yeah, they I just can't imagine living any place without having some animal with me.
well, as much as I
That's
love
great.
love my friend who's my landlord, um, they're going to go petless,
Yep.
for new tenants and things like that. And they have animals. They have cats, they have a dog, they have animals. It's like, how can you live one way and expect other people to live another?
Hmm.
That's not fair.
Yeah, well, when Sloth Girl moved here, she said that she was done with taking care of animals and she wasn't going to have any more. It was only about 2 weeks before we were at the shelter for her picking out a cat.
Yeah.
I get it. Sometimes you feel like you just can't go down that rodeo again, but it's not up to your. I don't think it's fair for a landlord to. I mean, okay, I get it. Some people don't take care of their pets. Some people think puppy pads are better than walking them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
Well,
I
even this
disagree
time
with
they
that.
charge a
But
big deposit because they know people need animals.
as long as you're committed to your pet and you have paperwork from your old landlord saying pet wasn't a problem. And you could get renter's insurance with a pet clause. It's like if the animal does damage to your apartment, it's paid for. What's the big deal?
well, that's the place we're moving into. Yeah, there's a extra damage deposit added on of $100 for each cat.
Oh,
And we also have to make sure that we, get them to the vets to, have the paperwork to show that they've got all the shots they're supposed to have and everything.
Which is dumb if they're
yeah,
inside animals.
and that's not a problem. But I think it's kind of stupid to require a pet deposit of $100 each cat if you can. I don't know, for maybe $10 a month you get something in case, I don't know, they get elderly and start pissing and you can have part of the floor replaced instead of having to sue for damages. It's taken care of. My friend had a Labrador Retriever who was chewing all her molding until I moved in and started walking the thing every day.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing that, they require some attention. You can't just, ignore them all the time and just, pet them when it's convenient for you.
Yeah, they're not, oh, hug, oh, you're
Yeah,
decorative.
walk the dog.
No, they have requirements, they have needs. If someone's really, devoted, like I've had pet insurance the entire time I've rented. I've had landlords say, "Oh, it's $50, blah 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 for
Sleeps
the
in the back
cat," and it's
seat.
like, well, you do realize that I've got renter's insurance, and here's the thing, and here's the clause, and I've had it for this many years, and it covers this much damage, and they're like, "Oh," I was like, "Would you mind waiving that because
Yeah.
I get more for my insurance than you would if you up my rent. It covers more."
Yeah, well, ours doesn't cost anything more on the rent. It's just the one-time deposit, so that's not too bad.
Oh, that's not bad. They're probably then just going to use it for special cleaning services after you leave.
Yeah,
Which we're not planning on leaving.
although, even here, I've been here 2.5 years with Sammy's son, and there really isn't anything. There's no noticeable damage that he's caused at all,
No.
because it's like, he's good about the litter box. He does have a problem with hairballs, so he spits up from time to time.
But it's
Hmm.
no carpet.
But, well, even when he's done it on the bedroom carpet, it's like, I find it, I clean it up right away. It hasn't left any discolored spots or anything. He pulled up one tiny corner of the carpet by the bathroom door, and I took a putty knife and I was able to press it back down under the molding. You can't even tell.
Yeah, I get it. I do get it. It's just convincing property owners that, your cat's not going to be sitting there at night going, "I'm high on catnip and I've got a can of spray paint. I'm ready." It's like, no, spay and neuter your pets, get them all their shots. They're not going to go like, "Hi, I just entered puberty and I'm rebelling against mom or dad," or whoever. Yeah. time to break out the paint. It's no, no, no.
Well, if you have a puppy or a kitten, there definitely, is the potential during the learning curve.
Uh, People wonder why I don't want a kitten. I've been pressured lately to get another cat.
Yeah.
Well, you can have a kitten. I don't want to raise a kitten. I don't like babies of any species. Give me an adult. Give me an
No, yeah,
adult.
I agree. I'd much rather go and adopt an adult from the shelter.
Yeah, but then you end up.
Kittens are obnoxious.
But then you end up
Hi,
with
I'm
accident.
climbing your leg, and if you don't teach me otherwise, I'm gonna do this all my life until you're like bleeding from head to toe
Cat problems.
because I'm cute.
Yeah, but we're dealing with her and she's getting better.
No, I'd rather have an adult, and I'd
Yeah.
rather not have to go through the training, and I'd
Yeah,
rather
but
not have to.
older animals can come with issues.
Yeah, Petunia definitely. We don't know anything about her history, but it seems pretty obvious that she was not treated well before.
Oh no, it sounds like she had a rough life.
Yeah, and she was very bitey when we first got her, and it's like now, she'll still
If she's in
she'll
trouble.
still sometimes, she'll turn around and kind of bite me, but she doesn't leave any marks anymore, and she immediately apologizes.
Hmm.
And she
So
knows the word
yeah,
ow.
yeah, it's just that biting had gotten to be a reflex for her, which, you know, how
I
often did she have to defend herself?
I had to train my cat that it was okay for her to get on the furniture. She wouldn't get on the furniture. I was like, what? Why?
But he only gets up on
I
the
had
bed.
to train her. She wouldn't let me touch her feet. Towards the end, she was hopping on my lap and putting her feet in my hand. She'd want to touch paws. And it was, you know, the cat
I
that I
really can't
got
lie.
was different than the cat that I ended up with. But it takes years to undo damage.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
mean,
It it's been what close to 3 years
Three years.
that Sloth Girls had Petunia, and
3.5.
yeah,
mhm.
so she's doing much better. But like I say, there's still, I still occasionally get a mark.
Oh, of course. You should. I have a patch by one of my knees that's just nothing but claw marks.
Yeah, and well, Sammy has a different problem. He never means to do it, but he actually has a bit of a mutation that he's got two claws coming out of each thumb,
Oh,
and because of that, he can't fully retract his front claws.
oh, poor
So it's
baby.
like, yeah, sometimes when he walks on me, he leaves scratches, but it's like it's not anything he means to do. There's just nothing he can do to stop it.
Yeah, I get it.
So yeah, my legs look pretty scratched up a lot, but he's a good guy.
I got
The
pulls in my
the worst he
jeans.
ever does is if he feels I've been on the computer too long, he starts headbutting the keyboard.
Yeah, kind of like, hey, hey, I'm more attractive than that. Hey, pay
Yeah,
attention to me.
you've been petting that thing long enough.
Yep, I'm softer and cuter.
Yep.
Hello.
Can I purr?
Well, and then he usually settles into my lap, and then I have to balance the keyboard on his back.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah,
It's
we've
keyboard
we've got an
fast.
understanding for how that works out now.
Orla wants to know, can't you get the extra claw removed?
No.
I would think that
I
would be
I
more
never
trouble
asked the
than
vet
it's
about
worth.
it, but I can't see how that would be possible without a very painful surgery.
That'd be like getting your
And
titanium
yeah,
teeth
I
lost.
think even if they did that, I still don't think that he'd be able to retract them because at this point, at his age, the ligaments and the muscles wouldn't have developed to do that. He's about 8 years old now. I've had him. Yeah, I've had him for about 2.5 years, and they said he was about 6 when I got him, so he's 8 or 9.
He's getting to be an old man.
No,
See,
he's not. That's middle age.
I never forgot Patsy's situation when I got her. So in my head, I had cemented her into that age.
Hmm.
Because I always thought, I'm her seventh owner. I'm her seventh owner. You know, and I need to make things as comfortable and welcoming and
Wow,
safe
Yeah,
for her.
that must have
And
been rough for her to be changing homes that many times.
well, that I was determined that this would be,
I like nurturing
she
kids.
wouldn't have to do that
Give them
again.
some mittens.
But it was like windowsills. I mean, I'm sitting there going, it's just, oh, and when she gets older, if her hips start hurting, I'll get her this, and if this, then that, and had a whole plan for her old age. But in my head, I wasn't allowing her to age, and I didn't
Yeah,
realize I had her for as long as I did. So the day that she didn't greet me,
well, that would be you
I was like, what's wrong with Patty?
making mittens for kittens.
I didn't even realize that she was at the end of her life.
Aw.
Yeah,
She never had the grace to act like a little old lady. Even though sometimes I called her that. It's like,
hmm,
what's the deal with you today? Are you pretending to be old? Yeah, right.
She wasn't pretending.
She wasn't pretending, she was actually getting old. But she was sitting on my shoulder the day before she died.
yeah,
She climbed me, sat on my shoulder, rubbed her face in my temples, and hey, hey, pay attention to me. What do you want? I just fed you. You want
Besties.
another can of cat food? We don't waste food in this house. Are you
Cats are
sure?
calm all
Are you
around
sure?
you.
Okay, here's your food.
But the minute you touch them, it's like personal
mm,
space.
oh.
So, I mean, it was a bit of a shock. I wasn't ready for it.
Need some napkins?
Well, even when you kind of see it coming, you're never really ready for it.
I know. I was lucky. She was perfect. She really was.
I mean, you can put them on top of the microwave if you want. Yeah. Well, I remember when my fiance's cat Vida, her last night, that my fiance was already in bed, and usually she would sleep with her, and I was still sitting up at the computer, and she got off the bed and she came over and hopped up in my lap, and I was petting her for a while, and then she hopped down and she went and laid under the coffee table, and I realized it seemed a rather long time that I hadn't seen her, and I went and checked, and yeah, it's basically she had come up to say goodbye, and that was it.
I learned something weird about cats who die of old age. Even though their heart stops beating, they keep breathing for a bit.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
read
this
it.
guy had
I
a
was like,
cat. He was 24 years old.
weird. Oh yeah, we've had some long-lived cats too.
Yeah, nearly all of mine have at least been teenagers. I've had two of them that were over 20.
Well, in cat years, they're pensioners.
Yeah, well, and that's it. It always shocks me when people tell me that cats are only expected to live to be 7 or 8 years old. And it's like,
That's bull.
not if you're taking care of them properly.
Maybe if they're an outdoor cat, because the average lifespan for an outdoor
No,
cat is anywhere between 4 and 8.
no, because most of my life we've
Depends
had
on
outdoor cats,
you
and they've
can't
all, yeah,
purple. It depends on the area you live in. Traffic, children,
yeah. Well,
assholes, poisoning, pollution,
actually,
radiator
living
fluid.
living in the suburbs, I never had that problem. I lost two of them up here because of the other things in the forest.
Yeah. Oh, around my
And that
sister's house,
that's
it's coyotes.
yeah. Well, this is why people think raccoons are cute, and I don't like them at all because
They'll
I know
kill a cat.
raccoons got Guapo.
Yeah. That's a cute name, Guapo.
That's Yeah, that's my fiance named him. It's Spanish for handsome.
Oh.
And it's like, yeah, the night it happened, I heard him and I knew the sound, so I knew it was raccoons, but I couldn't find him in time.
Oh. Oh, Orla, that's terrible. Oh my god.
I hear stories like that, yeah, from time to time. It's just appalling that people, would do things like that to animals.
I I had an aunt who had a neighbor who tried to poison all the cats in the neighborhood because she liked
Hmm.
birds.
Yeah.
And I get that. I get that you like your birds and blah blah blah, but to murder someone's pet, that's the part I don't get. Talk to your neighbors. Be like, look, I want a bird feeder. I like birds. Would you mind keeping your cats inside? They're your pets. You know, you have your pet. I want my animal rights too. What's the problem?
Yeah,
She
one
didn't
of the
even
feral
try talking to people. She was just murdering people's pets.
one of the ferals I took in New York would not eat tuna, and I thought that was very strange, so I can only assume that somebody had been trying to poison them with tuna.
No, to be fair, Patsy Cat didn't like human food until the halfway point when I had her. And then one day she was just like, "Can I try that?" Really? Yeah, I'd like to try that. Okay. And a little bit of human chicken, and she went, I actually like that. It's like, I've given you this like 50 times, Cat, and you didn't want it. I want it now. Can I have more?
Yeah, that's Sammy does not like human food either. Except that when I have yogurt, I'll give him the top to lick off.
Uh huh.
And when I have the spreadable port wine cheese, he'll take one little bit about, the size of a dried pea, and he'll eat that, but then he won't be interested in any more after that.
Yeah. It's sometimes it's just sort of like, yeah, I had what you're
Yeah.
having, and I'm fine now.
But like, yeah, giving him tuna or chicken, he has no interest. I mean, at Thanksgiving, I tried to give him a bit of the turkey with some gravy, and he just stared at it like, why are you soiling my dish with that crap?
Yep. Yeah, Patty Cat was the same way.
Oh, lovely. I just realized that what I've been scratching at here is apparently I got a spider bite during the night.
Aww.
Yeah, a little annoying, but it'll go away.
Well, I'm hoping very much that I'm gonna take a few months to adjust, and if I do get another cat, I at the very least would like a young adult, or I'm okay with a 12-year-old. I don't care. I just want an adult.
Hmm.
I'm not into kittens. I know some people will only take kittens, and I'm not that type.
Yeah, well, yeah, I went to the shelter and it was about personality that, I knew I couldn't. At the time, I still had Fiona, and I was kind of looking for a companion for her, and she was, a bit older and having some health problems.
Hmm.
So I knew one that was too energetic was going to drive her crazy. So, I was just looking for somebody mellow. So that's how I got Sammy. And also the fact that, they said he was 6 years old, and I know a lot of people don't want to adopt older cats. And they said he had already been in the shelter for 6 months, and it's like, oh. So I had to take him home just because,
You saved his life.
yeah, it really looked like he was probably going to wind up spending the rest of his life there.
No. And he's such a love.
He
Such
is.
a good Canadian cat.
Yep. Yeah, that's, most of the time he likes, I sit in my recliner here and I have the footrest up. I call that his porch because usually he'll just, come up here and like lay against my leg.
I've got some friends on the internet and they've got cats and it's like their attitude about their cat isn't very cat person like. It's almost like they expect the cat to be a dog
Uh,
and it's like you do know you're not really in charge here.
yeah, well, since Sammy did go outside before and I can't let him with the apartment,
Yeah.
when we get to the new apartment, I'm going to, see how he does with a harness and leash. So that maybe after the snow melts, I can take him out to play in the grass.
Just take him out to hang out. Don't expect him to walk.
Yeah,
And bring a carrier in case you need it.
yeah. Mostly, I think he'd like the chance to hunt bugs and that.
The only reason why I mention the carrier is sometimes someone will come along and they've got big scary thing with them, whether the big scary thing is a toddler or or a dog.
Yeah, yeah. Some dogs just go ballistic when they see cats, so that's a
And
good point.
some fucking kids do too.
Yeah.
Like, sorry to all you parents who have spawn, but oh my goodness. Nothing's worse than a toddler with a tail. I guess it's different if the parent themselves they've got a cat and they can train the kid.
Yeah.
But
Well, and
cattails are
Sammy
so
likes his carrier.
tempting.
With animals, I've always left the carriers out, or they could examine them when they weren't really being used.
Mm,
He's very sometimes he goes and naps in there.
well, the cat I had before Pat's, we had gotten him from. He had just come out of doctor's care. He was like 1 or 2 years old, and he had spent his kittenhood in a body cast because he was mauled by a dog. And the owners had given up on him, because they couldn't afford the vet bills to put him back together. But the vet put him back together. But the vet,
Hmm.
had him at the animal shelter occasionally, hoping that someone would want the special needs cat. And that's how we ended up with Gromit. He lived a good long life, but he was shaped like a bulldog. Because being in the body cast changed his skeleton.
Yep.
It was a funny cat too. And
Oh, I'm
he would.
with you, Cripple. Encourage the bats. I've actually built a number of bat houses to put out.
Oh, I love bats.
Well, and anyone who says they don't like bats, point out to them that they can eat up to 500 mosquitoes every night.
Oh, some people have a thing. I have a friend who has a thing. She doesn't like the look of bats, so I don't show pictures of bats anymore. So she doesn't freak out. But
Yeah.
I love bats. I think they're adorable. Even I don't care. They're just funny.
Well, and like we had one that got in the apartment once, and yeah, I kind of freaked out about that. They belong outside, but as long as they're doing their thing outside, I'm fine with them.
Who doesn't like crows?
Though Orla was saying that that her neighbor didn't like her feeding the crows.
Some people are weird about black animals. They think they're cursed.
Yeah, there is a lot of folklore that goes to that.
Well, in Japan, black cats are lucky. And in the United States, if you have a black cat, you better keep it inside during Halloween. Because superstition is a pet
Yep.
killer.
Yep. Yeah, Orla, as far as the crows and the nuts, the crows are pretty smart. I saw a thing in a city in Japan where the crows figured out that the nuts that were hard to crack, they would drop them in the pedestrian crossings in the street, and they would know to wait until the light changed because they knew which color the cars would stop on, and it would be safe to go and pick up the nuts.
In my area, every now and again you'd hear a big whomp from up top. And that was the seagulls dropping the clamshells on your roof to split them open. I don't know how seagulls get clams. I don't know how they do it, but they do. And then they will drop them on your house.
Well, I know in the wild that's a common behavior that they would drop them on large rocks.
Well, I think the local seagulls have discovered that if they dropped it on the house, they can see where it lands better.
Yeah.
And you end up with, oh, we had rock lawn, we didn't have grass. So we ended up with a wonderful shell, empty shell yard.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool as long as they didn't smell too bad.
They don't smell.
Okay.
The meat's taken out.
Well,
The
I
birds
didn't know
aren't
how
lazy.
good they were at cleaning them or if they left, little bits of meat in them.
Nah. There's more little bits of meat washing up in the bird marsh across the street.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
What?
Oh, just Sammy. Sammy's napping, looking cute.
Oh, I love it when they do that. It's like, I'm just going to be peaceful.
Yep. Well, if anybody wants to donate, the links are in the description there.
Yeah, and please donate. Need to get our friend out of the area and into a better area.
Yeah, please get me to some place where I won't become an alcoholic. Because I'm sure that's what's going to happen to me if I stay here long enough. And I'm not saying that as a threat or taking that too lightly, but it runs strongly in both sides of my family, so. Oh,
Oh,
yep, and yep, Mr. Bear and Maya made contributions before they left here. Is Maya still with us?
May is still with us.
Yep, I didn't realize she had just made a contribution about half an hour ago.
Which is great.
Yep.
So how long are we doing the fundraiser till? Like, when are you moving?
Well, I'm moving at the end of the month. At this point, it looks like it'll probably be February 22nd. Will probably be the day we'll actually be driving. So basically, we need all the money by then. So, yeah, that gives us basically 3 weeks to raise the money.
Okay, so we're gonna have to do some work.
We're off to a good start. We've got $465 already here. And yeah, I was working last night. I was, taking pictures of some of the things that we're going to have for prizes and that.
Okay.
And basically, we figured that, just whoever donates the largest amount will get first pick, and we'll work the way down until we run out of prizes. but we've got a couple dozen interesting items. And then I was also going to do just some small thank you gifts, like I was going to run a very limited run, like 10 T-shirt transfers with
Yay!
like my avatars, and do some little things like sheets of stickers or something. Haven't quite finalized that part of it. So just some little items so that even people who donate like $5 or something can get some little thing. Because I want everybody to know I appreciate it all.
Well, we appreciate you. So,
But yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff that our sloth girl handmade a lot of things, and almost everything handmade that she's putting in are things that won some kind of an award. Excuse me. So yeah, she's just, it's amazing some of the stuff she can turn out.
I
And
love the.
one of
Go
the
on.
one of the big items, she's asking if somebody will do at least $150 donation. That have you seen the plushusaurus?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Well, the thumbnail for tomorrow night's has examples of some of the dolls she makes, and she will do a custom doll for somebody that they can choose the skin tone and the hair color, and choose from a bunch of different outfits that she has patterns for.
Aww.
So that will be a made to order item. So that's going to take her some time. So that you're going to have to give her about a month for delivery on that between moving and her making it.
Well, I don't require such things. Because, well, I'm the type of person who
Yeah. Well,
doesn't
and
really collect items, but
yeah,
I would rather just help.
and the thumbnail that was on this one is her modeling the Doctor Who scarf I have, which was made by my sister-in-law.
Aww.
And that was actually made. I obtained a pattern from somebody who actually worked for the BBC costume department. So he actually went in their file cabinet and sent me a photocopy of the original directions.
Cool.
But I found out afterward that apparently there was a little bit of a problem with the sizes translating, that the American skeins of yarn and the American needles were slightly larger. So this one's actually a little bit oversized from the one Tom Baker wore. But then especially if you have somebody who's maybe a bigger guy who wants to cosplay, then it will upscale better. But yeah, when I put it on, literally both ends of it brush my shoes, and I'm 5'9". So yeah, for people donating, it actually is better if you send donations through the PayPal link. Um,
Make sure to post it.
yep. Well, yeah, it's in the description. I'll have to bring it up here. But just the PayPal doesn't take as much out of it. Okay.
Because you don't have a PayPal link on your Twitter thing. And
No.
I would encourage you to put your PayPal link pinned as your pinned tweet on your Twitter thing.
Pinned tweet?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Oh yeah. You
I'm
can
not
pin a
that great
tweet.
with Twitter. So what is that under my profile?
Uh, yeah. Let me do it to mine. So you go to your tweet, and on your profile, and when there's that little arrow to the side, says it's your own
Oh, okay.
on the right,
I see what you mean. Yep.
and you can pin that. So if you do that with your a tweet that has your Patreon and your PayPal, and even to your GoFundMe thing, that way you have options for people, and it's stuck on there as your pinned tweet, so you're not going to be pushing it down as if you have anything to say to anybody.
Okay. I see what you mean now.
Hmm. It'll help people out.
Yep. Okay, there. I got the PayPal link up there.
Now that I'm done lecturing you.
Oh, that's not a lecture. You were teaching me something useful. I
No,
guess the word lecture has developed a negative connotation, but aren't lectures how you learn most things in college?
I don't mind lectures, so I don't think it's that bad. But sometimes I feel like I'm a little overbearing.
You can get fired up on certain topics, but I don't see that's a bad thing.
Yay, I'm not a bad thing.
Well, it's one of those things that, well, like a lot of times people talk about, find your passion and do what you're passionate about. And it's like,
But then when you're passionate, they get uncomfortable.
well, no, I feel for me, I understand the dictionary definition of that word, but I don't
Hmm.
know if it's something I've ever experienced. I don't know if there's anything in my life that I've ever really been passionate about. It's like I've been passionate with an intimate partner, but that's not the same kind of thing as, like being passionate about your work or a project. And I'm still feeling that I don't really understand. I don't grok what people mean by that. But, for me, it's hard to get much of any kind of emotional response out of me for most anything.
Maybe you're
So,
not giving yourself credit.
it is something I've always, I felt envious of because I just feel I don't quite get that kind of emotional level for most things.
Maybe it's your lack of sleep. Maybe you just don't
That
have
could
the
certainly
energy. You have
that
a
could
fit
certainly play into it as well, yeah.
because there's a certain amount of emotional energy that I think that you might be exhausted in more ways than one. But
Oh yeah.
passionate, I mean, we were talking about, the church and blah blah blah, very opinionated. It it may not be firebrand, but you have strong opinions. You have
Yeah.
very strong opinions on a lot of things, and nothing wrong with that, hun. And if that's as much passion as you can muster, that's great. I wouldn't call you apathetic.
Oh really? Most people do.
I wouldn't call you apathetic at all. If you were apathetic, Sammy flirting or falling asleep and looking adorable would not get an awe from you. talking about landlords and whether or not
Yeah.
you would, you know, can even consider a petless apartment. You're passionate
Yeah.
about some things. It's just how you express it might be a little bit low key, but you don't have to like burn down the building to make a point. You do a wonderful job as it is.
I find it much easier to be empathetic with animals and children than I do with most adults.
Same.
And basically, that's how my hierarchy always goes is, I'm going to take care of whoever seems to be the most defenseless or the one who least understands what's going on.
Hmm.
Because the people who understand the situation should be able to deal with it on their own.
See, you have passions. You just don't give yourself credit.
Yeah, Sloth Girl picks on me all the time.
I think somebody needs to, in a good natured, I'm not going to make you drive and fall asleep behind the wheel way.
Yeah, well, she also makes sure I don't go more than 2 days at a time without eating, so. Okay, and we got another donation recently from Gillian. I'm not sure who that is. I don't mean to be doxing anyone. That's one problem with the PayPal is that it does tend to show real names instead of letting people put their handles on there. I wish PayPal would fix that.
Well, no one can see the avatar, nobody can see the post, nobody can see the last name. So I don't think saying somebody's first name when we have so many people involved is necessarily a bad thing.
Yep.
But, like, at the same time, you know,
We've been going almost 3 hours. I should probably close it down here soon. But if we can just get one more
yes, I,
donation, we're only $15 short of totaling $500 here.
oh, that would be wonderful.
So can we get a $15 donation to bring it up to $500 before we close down the stream?
Oh, wow, that would be one fifth of
Yeah,
what we
some
need.
people like Doc Fearson and Graveheart and Greg Hartwig kind of jumped the gun and made donations before I really even had things set up. But
That's because one, Doc's been there. We
yeah,
had you know, a fundraiser for Doc, and unfortunately, we did not reach our goal.
yeah, we got him close enough that he was able to get the car, but yeah, he's still making payments on it.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice if we could finish that off one day. We got Ansgar's car fixed. We got me a refrigerator. I didn't know about that GoFundMe until someone did it for me.
Yep,
Um,
that was the first one I remember. Was I
yeah.
didn't really even know you at the time, and people were just saying this woman needs a refrigerator.
Some of my medicine is refrigerated, and I was living out of a little ice bucket. So,
Yep. Well, and that's the part that hit me because with my fiance, that her diabetes medicine needed to stay in the refrigerator. So,
hmm,
I understood that that could be a life-threatening situation at that point.
yep. And I'll tell you this: diabetes isn't fun, as you well know. And I was
Yeah.
pretty freaked out by it. But you know, if it had lasted longer, I was gonna ask my friend if I could use her fridge. But it basically saved my life. And these little life changes that we do support, getting Christy a computer and this, that, and the other thing. And,
Yeah, well, that's why I've tried to help out wherever I could here. Yeah, and we
and
just got
it's
Nacha a new computer recently.
and it's time to pay it forward. I mean, we're always paying it forward. We're always taking care of our own, and I think that's great. And I'm just
Yeah, well, and
without these
that's part of the
options.
point of having a community, so you can help each other out when somebody needs it.
Exactly. But it's really encouraging.
Yeah, I am surprised, that this already taken off so fast. So, yeah.
Well, you've done a lot for a lot of people.
Well, and like I said, I was even surprised to see, on Twitter, just like I say, in the first 6 hours, a couple dozen people retweeted it, so people are spreading the word around even if they can't afford to make donations, and that certainly helps a lot.
Right. And, you
And
know,
even seeing it retweeted by people who, I don't really know, it's kind of like I recognize that I've seen the name on Twitter before, but this person doesn't really know me and they're still doing it. So that's pretty cool.
there were so many people who didn't know me who helped me out. I mean, granted, I got it the least expensive refrigerator I could. I think it was like $600 that was raised or whatever, but all I know is I had enough to get it delivered and have the old dead thing taken out.
Hmm.
And it was the most amazing thing because if not, I would have had to pay someone a lot more to carry it, the old one down the stairs to a dump that no longer accepts appliances. So what was I going to do with the old one?
Yeah,
Dust it
generally
on
the
my porch?
yeah, generally the people who deliver the new ones will usually take the old appliances out because they usually get enough for recycling them to make it worth their while.
Yeah. Well, I could have got a
Although
more expensive
refrigerators in
rate.
particular are a problem because they have to be careful. You have to have special equipment and have to have a license to drain the refrigerant.
Hmm. Especially some of the old ones. They're completely toxic.
Yep.
But I mean, I think it's such a good thing. And it really does make you feel good when you donate. At least it does me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it definitely, I haven't been able to donate a lot to these things, but I've tried to give a little each time. Yeah, definitely
Pe-
you feel better about yourself.
People would be surprised even what a $2 donation can add up to. Anyone who's played an MMO where they've had to grind copper or silver on a shoreline, killing mobs so that they can save up to buy a vest in a video game, knows that every little bit helps.
Yep.
You know, the idea that you have to like lay down a huge amount. No, you don't have to lay down a huge amount. When are we going to do the next stream so that we can keep this going? So we can make another $500 so we can,
Well,
you know,
yeah, but the one for tomorrow night, I'm, gonna start putting up pictures of some of the prize items and that, you know,
okay.
try and get some people going with that. Um, and basically, yeah, trying to get some different people in here is the main thing, is trying to get it out in front of as many people as possible. So we're not just talking to the same people every time.
Oh yeah. Well, that's part of the whole part of this, you know. How many people can we reach?
Yeah, and it's a new word that Orla's been using here. Elithimaya, that she was explaining about, not recognizing your own emotions. And yes, that definitely happens to me a lot. So, yeah, maybe that's more what it actually is. And it's just, I didn't know there was a separate term for it. Everybody's always considered it apathy.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I know you really care. One of the few people who have checked on me after an event to make sure I wasn't going completely down the misery drain.
Yeah, well, I do remember that one night that just the way you were talking on Twitter kind of scared me, partially because I've attempted to commit suicide twice myself, and I've been there and talked to four other people out of it. So, yeah, I can recognize a certain pattern, and I was afraid it was getting too close to that.
And here I thought I was hiding it so well.
Well, and maybe it would have if it wasn't somebody who'd been through it a half dozen times already.
It's
So,
been a
okay.
rough year, my darling.
Yep. Okay, well, we're not getting any more donations in right now, but I think I need to wrap it up here and I need to go and get some food
Eat
and take care of a few things.
and pet that cat.
Yep. Yeah, well, he is still laying against my leg here. So he
Yep.
is going to be annoyed when I need to use my leg to stand up, but
Yeah, well, is the cat in the picture?
yep. Yeah, he's moving with us and basically I'm building a cat kennel for the back of the car
Awesome.
for the two of them to ride in because they're going to be stuck in that thing for about 8 hours. So they have to have enough room that they can, stand up, walk around, and there has to be enough space for a litter box in there.
Went through that during one of the first hurricanes in my life. We had converted part of the car into a kitty cat shelter because we had to go to the shelter for to evacuate, but they didn't allow animals. So, and my cat was deaf, and
Excuse me.
we weren't about to leave her in a house where it might go underwater.
Yeah.
So,
Oh
especially with
no. If
a
we ever
cat who
had to
can't hear.
evacuate, I can't imagine leaving the animals behind.
Well, we kept the cat in the car, and the cat was in the car for days, but we spent more time in that car than we did at the emergency shelter because we had it in the parking lot. So we didn't
Yeah.
want her to be alone. We didn't want her to
Yep.
freak out. Meanwhile, she didn't care about anything, that cat. She was just like not afraid of the wind, not afraid of anything. Sometimes it's really good to have a deaf cat.
That's true, but I'm sure a lot of that had to do with you being there with her that much. I'm
Oh
sure if
yeah.
she had to be alone for a long time, she would have been nervous, but as long as you were there with her.
Well, that was our first hurricane in New Jersey, and she had already come all the way from California.
Yeah, I've never been in an area that hurricanes were a problem. Blizzards and tornadoes are the worst we've had to deal with. Although actually, yeah, there have been some situations of flooding.
Yeah, flooding is water. You know, nature just scares the crap out of me. So I'm
Yeah, you
fine.
can't take it lightly. Okay,
But
well, thank you, everybody. I am going to shut it down here for right now.
yep, we're
So,
hungry,
yep, I will be back, tomorrow at midnight.
and
So,
hopefully
thank
everything
you.
goes well.
Please share the links around for the PayPal and the GoFundMe. I appreciate everybody's help.
hmm And if you could throw it up on more than one um platform,
Yep,
like if you also have Facebook or if you also have another platform, just throw it out there because you don't know. Someone might be like, oh, and if you are familiar with Purple, just say, like, this dude's my friend.
yep. I did put it up on my Facebook page last night too.
Yeah. Well, thank you
Okay,
for everything. Hope
bye bye
everyone
for
has a
now.
good night. Bye.